The Jays. Creighton basketball is an exclusive presentation of Creighton University Athletics and NRG Media Omaha.
Man, I loved playing high school sports growing up. And it's fun being a fan now, don't get me wrong, but sitting in the stands feels like I'm missing out on all the action, you know? I wanted to get back in the game. So I signed up to be a high school official. It takes me back to my playing days. I'm supporting students, and I get paid to make the big calls. Do you want to see the game up close? Sign up to become an official in Nebraska at highschoolofficials.com.
The backseat. Check the backseat.
Maybe.
Check the backseat.
Maybe.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. But with changes in routines, distractions, or a sleeping child, it can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. So get it in your head.
Check the backseat.
A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620, The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6.
Or 3, 1 until 4.
Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Connor, have we canceled the Creighton Bluejay?
No. We will
Okay.
never do that, but I don't like it. I didn't like what I just saw.
I think some of our audience did.
They did.
Yeah.
I think so, too.
All right, time to talk about it for the next 2 hours?
Unsportsmanlike conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
Welcome in, everybody, live from Stadium Swim.
The middle of a hurricane.
Oh, my gosh, it is so windy. It's windy.
Windy.
Oh, as Sky tweets in, hearing the program theme song, which slaps, at 3:20 in the afternoon, the week of a holiday, is so disorienting to my internal clock. Sky, what do you think it's
you're
like
telling
for
me.
I'm looking at my clock, and it says 1:23, and I'm like, why am I on the air so early?
And why am I on the air at all?
Well, it's 1:23. This is a normal time for you to be on the air.
No, it's actually 3:23.
It is 3:23. Welcome in, everybody. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct here on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Joey roasting Happer in the behind-the-scenes comment section.
What? Why?
Happer forgot to mute himself on StreamYard. I already took care of it.
Thanks.
Boom. Roasted.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. I appreciate that. I appreciate you making that public knowledge.
One job.
No, I didn't. That's your job,
Oh,
Joey.
interesting.
I'm running around to the keg to make sure things are good to go over there.
Oh, you're busy.
I'm
An endless
busy.
string of producers that are too busy to do anything around here.
Oh, my gosh. Welcome in, everybody. It's a Tuesday.
I'm not mad.
Don't
On
put it
a
on the internet.
Tuesday.
That Don't put it on zonetv.live that Happer has met. Many responses, many takes coming in, like this one from ... who writes, Creighton sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
I think it's going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
Lance, does the entire team have mono this time?
I said to Josh while we were sitting down in the Circus Sportsbook watching
Incredible
the game,
sportsbook.
it would be pretty. Everyone would agree, right? I have trouble saying things that people agree with these days.
Apparently.
But I do think that everybody would agree that if they came out and said that Ryan Kalkbrenner had mono and he's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks or whatever, that would be objectively funny, right?
I would laugh.
Okay.
I think people would laugh at it.
But I don't think that's it.
Creighton fans might or Nebraska fans might get a little mad at that joke. I don't know if they would like that joke.
Why?
I don't know, just because they'd be like, that's an excuse. That's an excuse.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Man, lots of emails, lots of tweets.
Many people are wondering if 18 is 20.
Is 18 20?
I actually think yes.
Okay.
18 to 20. It actually felt like probably more than that.
Yeah, it really did. Text from the 402. These Creighton bums ruining Nebraska's Q1 win. SMH, Omaha sucks. No. Omaha's a great city.
What a city.
Full of great people. Better food than Lincoln. And we have
Much.
traffic lights, but not too many traffic
And
lights.
a lot less crime and weirdo.
And a lot less crime and weirdo-ness.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. He's Connor Happer. I'm Josh Peterson. We do not have a Grumdown graphic, but we can let you know what we have on the program today, brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard. It's Happer and me discussing such topics as maybe NFL reaction, overreaction if we don't decide to save it until tomorrow so Josh Hodson can participate. We'll do the hot take market at some point in time. Is Creighton cooked? A question that people are asking. And Steve Sipple will join us in the happy hour. Which
Steve.
For us, it'll be at 2:45, but for everyone else, it'll be at about 4:45.
All right.
So that's what we'll have going on there. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Can't wait to talk about all the topics. I love the topics.
Many topics. Dana Holgorsen spoke again today, and every time he opens his mouth, I think, wow, what the hell were they doing?
Yeah.
Every time he says words, that's what I think. It's just what in the world was happening.
Yes, Skurs people. You got problems too.
Yeah, indeed you do.
So take that.
Yeah, take that, Nebraska fans, well, of which Happer is also that too. I did want to get to this. You know, in the end of this entire season, Nebraska football is now one win away from finishing 7-5, which for the majority of predictions, that is what they expected from them. They expected a 7-5 season. They might get to 7-5. Even if they get to 6-6, it is still the quote-unquote progress. Were we wrong about Nebraska in the midst of our complaining? Were the preseason prognostications right about Nebraska, or do you feel like there was maybe some meat left on the bone? So some things that we can discuss with the football team as we get to that. A few things then that we have had left over, or at least I've had left over on my prep sheet. What in the world is going on with the Big Ten television contract, and why is everybody so angry?
Yeah.
We'll get to the hot take market. This is one of the segments that Connor Happer gets to participate in today that he normally doesn't. And Nick Grimm is going to read us some questions on Unsportsmanlike content. Nick said he wants to write some questions, so which he always does.
That's usual, right?
It's what he does, but he wants to write them. He wants to write them even harder today.
Yeah, no, I don't want them edited.
He doesn't want them edited.
You're my editor.
That's right.
Is he going to say it in a very Nick way, like he does usually on the show? He always talks in his extremely Nick voice.
What's my extremely Nick
there's
voice?
like Nick, there's like Nick voice, and then there's like extremely Nick voice. And that's when you're like reading stuff off of papers. You haven't noticed this?
No.
Oh yeah, when you're reading stuff, it changes.
Like it's radio voice.
Read the tweet that you have in front of you right now.
I don't have a tweet in front of me right now.
Read an email.
Read any words that you have in front of you.
Hearing the program theme song, which slaps at 3:20 in the afternoon, the week of holidays, so disorienting to my internal clock.
Is that not different?
It is
than
a little
normal?
different. Yeah, he was just talking one way. Now
At least I don't sound dead this time, though. I feel a little
I don't
better.
know. You kind of still seem a little kind of.
My throat feels better than it did this morning.
Here's an interesting tweet
Congrats to your throat.
from Jed,
It's the goat.
which comes on the on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Jed writes, "Are there still dumb people that think basketball is better than football?"
I do love basketball. Why do you think we're here? It's It's hoopsgiving.
It is hoopsgiving. You gave it a different word earlier today.
What?
You called it bricksgiving.
I think the real question is how come we
was.
don't like baseball more than football
It's
or basketball?
Bricks giving all over the place.
Uh-huh.
This is horrendous.
Many bricks. There are bricks. I guess this is. I don't know.
I think
what
that's
this is.
plaster, Josh.
Yeah, that's plaster. There are
There better
bricks,
not be
though.
any bricks up here.
Yeah. I mean, what would you call those? Are those bricks in the pool?
Tiles.
Okay, don't tell this
Tiles.
because there's a lifeguard within earshot of me. I'm going to dive head first.
No,
into that
Happer,
pool.
don't do that.
Just get Happer some. Can someone
It's
deliver?
3 feet 9 inches.
Hap-
Let me dive in.
Happer,
head
do you
first.
need that mask that I found on Twitter?
Hey,
Oh yeah, I have a mental illness.
hey, look, we are but seconds away from Fremont Street. Happer, Sad Pizza. Sad Pizza is on the menu, boys.
That might be true.
You could go get a little Sad Pizza today.
But there will be opportunities for more sadness.
What, the whole season you're talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about tomorrow in
Definitely
particular.
tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow. We're 6.5 minutes away now from Texas A&M in Oregon, which is the Players Era Festival. That kind of looks like Chris Fowler on the end, even though I know it's not Chris
It's
Fowler.
Seth Davis.
Yeah, it kind of looks like.
You don't know who
Wait, that's Seth Davis?
Seth Davis on the left.
No, yeah, I was saying on the far right. On
yeah.
our right.
I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, he looks like Fowler from the side. Husker Biker texts in, Happer.
Husker Biker?
Okay, so Creighton fan is going to lose their mind, just like I do when the Huskers lose a few in a row. They will be fine. Please keep winning and help the Husker basketball RPI. Let's get into this right away.
I just
Will
have
they
some
be
concerns.
fine?
I just have some concerns.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. I think there is definitely room. Well, not only have they been playing poorly, which would tell you that there's room for improvement, but like they have to figure out what they're going to be and who. Like they need to pare the rotation down, right? And I don't think like that automatically helps them. It's a flawed roster, at least when you compare it to the last couple of years when they had elite shot makers, elite defenders, like at every level.
Yeah,
and now. You're really, really dependent on Ryan Kalkbrenner. If you can't get him the ball, you're a smaller, less physical, less explosive team this year. You're going to be dependent on Ryan Kalkbrenner, and you're getting pushed around a little bit when the other team's on defense. Now, Nebraska plays physical, San Diego State plays physical, Texas A&M is an athletic, physical team. Like you're going to run into that, in the Big East as well. So it's no excuse. They have to handle it better. But with that being said, like there's a whole mess of people at the 4 that they're, I don't know what they started McAndrew today, and I like McAndrew, but he gives you a certain thing. Green gives you a certain thing. Trout gives you a certain thing. And Miller gives you a certain thing. Like they have to figure out which direction they want to go with that. And yeah, that's probably going to result in less minutes for some people. Ashworth not being in the game doesn't help, obviously right now. So I don't know. They're not officially cooked, but the oven is warming. Oh, the oven is on. The oven is on. You just pressed preheat 350, and it just started, and it says it's 100 degrees already, but it's not 100 degrees yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Toe Hooks for Life.
Toe Hooks for Life.
Tweets in on the J-Tech Instruction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. So Mr. Toe Hooks or Mrs. Toe Hooks tweeted at the Grum on Friday night during the game or maybe after the game. Said the real question is, will Unsportsmanlike conduct just be unavailable starting Monday after this? I mean, the J-Screws still have to do bigger at Overreaction tomorrow night. Now, I said we'll be in Vegas. We're going to be great. Now a follow-up. Y'all okay, question mark. We are still in Vegas.
I'm very okay.
And we are doing tremendous.
My life is still actually really fine. I just get sad when I think about basketball now.
Yeah, which is why we're turning our attention to football. Let's see.
Are we?
I am.
All right.
My attention's
we're
always.
moving on.
Yeah.
Did you see this? Did you see this comment on Twitter?
Oh,
from AJ, who is walking away with the top gambling winnings after the trip?
Right now it's Happer. I think Nick is done gambling. Yeah,
it is Happer. Unless my parlay
how do you guys
hits.
know?
If my parlay hits, then no, I think it is still Happer.
Yeah, I mean maybe you might be in the red more than I am, but we're reaching close
there
to my
needs to
limit.
be a scale. I think you
gamble a lot more than
I probably have had a bigger
bankroll.
Yeah. But my unit is bigger.
Yeah,
maybe.
Happer has it. Poll question: does Happer have a bigger unit?
I have the biggest unit on the trip.
If my parlay doesn't hit, then I'm done.
Yeah. And how's that parlay going?
So
I don't know if it started yet.
It was.
Okay.
It was halftime. I was sulking, and I walked a mere 20 feet behind me, and I found a roulette table, and young Nick followed me, and it was going very well. I hit a couple of numbers right out of the gate, so much so that it drew Nick to take the money from his pocket.
Ooh, what is that thing that's spinning?
And then he tried to hand it to the man at the table.
Uh-oh.
And he said, "Put it down."
I was trying to be nice.
Put it down.
I was on this side of the table. He was on that side of the table. I'm from Iowa. And here,
what does that have to do with anything?
Let me be nice and get this for you so you don't have to
like, it's one of those hits.
I go, Nick, just put it down. Put it down.
Just put it on the table. I can't take it from you.
Yeah.
I'm like,
those are the rules.
Those are the rules. You're like the guy at the craps table there who was pulling the dice out.
Oh my gosh! Explain to Nick why those are the rules. Why are you not allowed to give money right to the dealers?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew. I don't either. I just assume there's something. They just don't want any shenanigans happening, Nick.
Yeah.
Everything's above board.
But if the money's going from me to him,
but if there
it's
could,
right there.
If hands, you
yeah,
know.
you could cover hands. Just
you
put
know.
it across flat. It's cooler that way anyway.
Yep.
And then,
so that's how it began.
Yeah, and then so we're playing a little bit. Nick's kind of hanging in there. I think he hit his first bet. He was very excited to hit on black.
Yeah.
And he won it was a $10 table. He won $10 more than he had. Doubled his money. Guy put his chips there, and Nick gets real greedy and just grabs them. He goes, "Give me those chips." And then
the guy
was
said,
like,
"No,
hang on." And I go, "You see that little thing, Nick? He's got to pull it off the table in order for you to get your money." And he's like,
This is Nick now?
Yeah.
That's exactly how it went.
That
100%.
sounds about right.
Yeah. So, it's good. But this is the time to learn, right? At Tuesday afternoon in Las Vegas.
Not prime
Thanksgiving.
time. This
No.
is not
It's a $10
not a Saturday
table.
night boxing event.
Like, you're going to be okay, but you got to learn those lessons the hard way. Much like Creighton has to learn their lessons the hard way.
Is Creighton basketball the Nick Grimm at the roulette table?
But now I know how to play roulette, so maybe now Creighton knows how to play basketball.
Now let's see. Hopefully, if Creighton
That
can
would be
figure
the
out how to
hope.
play basketball.
That'd be the hope.
LSD will text in. I feel bad for John. Why didn't one of you guys help and do color? Nick croaking out commentary and takes. I'd LMAO.
Oh, croaking. Will, don't you have a pizza to reheat with a toaster?
Oh, hey, speaking of
I was not invited.
Speaking of pizza, Dan texts in, Knievel's is great for sad pizza. It's on Fremont Street.
Well, is that the place?
No, the place is, what's the area code here? 302?
I have no
I
idea.
think that place was 302 Pizza.
Okay.
I'm going to look up Knievel's Pizza and see how close it is to us. Because, yeah, maybe, it's called Evil Pie, Happer.
Evil pie.
I don't know if I want evil pie. I want
you already had it.
good pie.
You already had evil pie.
All right, compared to where we are, oh, wow, look at that, Happer. It's that's a drive. It's a 9-minute walk. It's just a straight shot right there.
We're going to the rooftop for cocktails.
We are going to the rooftop for cocktails. We have been hearing about this place since all the way back in March. So
Nick's
it's
worried about his shoes.
Yeah, Nick, you're
they're
gonna be
not.
fine.
I don't even like these
Look at what
shoes.
I'm wearing. It's fine,
Okay.
Nick, because there's a dress code.
There is
You
a
have to
dress
wear
Yeah.
a shirt that
It's
is
fine.
nice and
Nobody actually cares. It's Tuesday.
and no hats. But
If this was Friday night,
yeah.
maybe a little bit different story.
There would be no comments, though, on our shoes. Joe says 702 is the area code. 702 is the area code.
702.
702.
Do we have any 702 wives?
702's
702 wives. Yeah. Let's see. This from Alex Sindelar. Alex Sindelar chiming in.
Hello, Mr. Sindelar.
This episode of Bluejay Overtime is confusing. Who was the unsung hero?
Oh,
You're Drake and I'm Jimmy, or are you Jimmy and I'm Drake?
who was the unsung hero of the game today?
Don't tell me I have to play highlights.
Oh boy, Joey. Were there highlights? Poll question. Were there highlights from today?
I know who the unsung hero
make
was, and I
highlights.
know who Jimmy would have given it to.
Who's
He
that?
would have given it to Fred King.
Yeah? Oh, you were telling me about Fred King.
I go, there were some good Fred King minutes today.
Yeah?
Fred King, the only person on the entire roster that played today who had a positive plus minus.
Oh my gosh.
So it's kind of not really unsung. He was kind of just the best player today.
Yeah.
But unsung hero, brought to you by somebody.
I have many Creighton people in my life on many sides.
People love Fred King.
I'm worried for you guys and gals. I'm worried about you this season.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just know that I'm thinking about you.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
not rooting for your
I
demise.
respect that.
There are many Husker fans out there that actively want Creighton to,
Yes.
fall into this 3 foot
Big
9
meteor.
inch pool.
Yes.
I don't want that for you.
I'm glad.
I don't want that for you.
Thank you.
I work with the voice of the Jays. I don't imagine he'll be in a very good
Yeah,
mood this season.
we need that guy happy.
Yeah, well,
We really do.
yeah.
Because did you see him when he was yelling at the officials last night?
Oh, no. Oh, yes, during the Monday Night Football game that he won money on. I guess John is the only one who's really having a good time so far.
Congrats, John.
But he trades. He wins the money, but his team is down bad.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he would have gone the other way. He would have been happy for you and me to win our Chargers bet if it could have meant that the Jays got a nice dub
I don't
today.
think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think John.
He does enjoy
I
talking
don't think,
trash.
yeah, John's not the kind of guy who's like, I'm happy for you.
CJ says Bishop sounded miserable on the call.
I've heard this from a couple of sources now.
Many people were reaching out. Many people.
I was not
were-
able to listen to the
were
game
reaching
today.
I could
but I
attest to
heard-
that.
Okay, Joey says
Oh
yes
no!
as well.
Oh no! Oh no!
I got some highlights from that.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, maybe we could hear a couple of these highlights at some points randomly throughout the show, just so we could, because I want to hear what my co-host and friend sounded like, just to kind of get a vibe
Will
on
do.
it.
Me too.
Just to kind of get a vibe. All right, we'll do that as we roll on. We are here live at Circa. We're hanging out at Stadium Swim. It is sunny today. Those who are watching it on the video stream, they can tell because they see the sunglasses that we're all rocking. Much more comfortable this afternoon than it was this morning when it was a little chilly. Oh, we should probably turn the heat off.
Oh, yeah.
Explains why it's a little warmer.
Here we go. I got you.
A little warmer in
Done.
there. But we're going to be hanging out here until 6 o'clock tonight, and then Happer and I will be back tomorrow from 10 until 5. 10 until 5 tomorrow is when Happer and I will be on the
And
air.
then we get the great pleasure of going to watch Creighton basketball.
Ugh, great pleasure.
Great pleasure.
Yep, that is one
Nick,
of the words.
Nick is maybe the smartest of the group, just flying away,
I'm going to be leaving on a jet plane.
leaving his problems behind.
Don't know when I'll be back again.
Yep,
I'm worried about you getting on the plane and everything safely.
because of his sickness.
We'll vibe it out.
No, just like, our young baby boy.
I'm not worried. Like, I'm fine past security, but then it's a big airport, and then what if I don't know where to go?
So it's cool part about airports, they have all these signs.
Oh, so you're saying if there's a big sign, you should have no reason to miss something.
Many.
Oh, is that a restroom joke,
It
Nick?
is.
Rats. I was a big idiot.
We did receive a text from Nick Grimm
Uh-huh.
2 mornings ago, Sunday morning. It was me and Josh were en route.
We were close.
We were probably about 10 to 15 minutes away still from the airport, and Nick said, quote, "My TSA guy was cool."
He was. Every TSA person's different. Sometimes they're like, take that laptop out. My guy was like, put that laptop back in.
Shout out to the TSA that allows us to keep our computers in our bags. I
He
love
was
those.
cool.
I love when that happens.
I have pre-check, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's right. You live
pre-check Happer.
You live quite the life. You live quite the life.
I do. Very charmed.
One more comment
Except
before
for my
we
basketball team.
before we go to two more comments. YouTube user sounds like Nick has the woo flu.
Yeah.
Nick, how you
Not
doing?
the
Nick,
you
woo
got vid?
flu.
Yep. And Debo says Josh loving the Jay struggles. Fraud. I'm not loving any of the struggles.
You're not?
No,
I don't
just
know.
said
You seem like you're kind of poking a little bit.
I mean, hey, if Nebraska loses, I poke that too.
You're a poker.
Poll question.
You're
Is
just
Josh a poker?
Guy who just likes to poke.
I do. That's what I do with my own fandom too. With the Cowboys, when they lose, what do? I just make fun of
That's
everything.
not a fandom. That's a sickness.
It's a coping mechanism.
Yeah,
you
we should
gotta
get
find
you the
ways to cope.
1700s mask. You're sick.
All right, Steve Sipple in about an hour, right? Because it's 3:42. Yeah, he'll join us at 4:45ish.
That's
So
math.
he'll join us in about an hour. When we return, many comments, many sides. We can talk about Dana Holgorsen. Yeah, because I got a tweet about Mr. Holgorsen from T. McLean.
Team McLean.
That we can get to when we
like
return.
T. McLean.
And
Nice.
so much
Who
more.
sings it, Josh?
Not the Beatles, so I don't know.
Sheryl Crow.
Sheryl Crow.
Close to the Beatles.
I said not the Beatles.
Full question, are the Beatles close to Sheryl Crow?
Is Sheryl Crow the Beatles of early 2000s? Not quite country, but not rock?
Interesting.
Maybe.
We'll tackle those questions and more. Hot Take Market as well next hour. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct live from Stadium Swim at the Circa Resort and Casino here on 1620 The Zone.
Outside Thomas, back to McAndrew. Pulls the trigger on a three, too strong. Rebound, SDSU. Now a chance to get it back out to double digits with 13 minutes to go. Bird's going to pull the trigger on a three. And Mack uses a timeout.
It's down bad.
Oh, no. Oof. Oh, no.
Welcome back. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct here on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. We'll be on until our normal time at 6 o'clock in Omaha. And then Happer and I will be back again tomorrow morning. We'll be on from 10 until 5 ahead of pregame coverage from John out here in Las Vegas. A couple more comments before we get to Nebraska's new offensive coordinator, Dana Holgorsen. Let's see. Well, Andy writes that I put a curse on Fedoni, but before asked if is Kalkbrenner now the Fedoni of Creighton.
What does that even mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean? Jimmy, who was hanging out in the chat earlier, says, another great question, Andy. He also asks, can Holgorsen fix the Creighton offense? To which Jimmy said, great question, Andy. That is a very good question. Can Holgorsen fix what ills the Jays?
Okay, so is that the comp to Fedoni then, that they can't figure out how to use him, or something like that?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. They're just they might just be in a funk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing looks easy. That's for sure.
No, it does not. And we will continue to keep tabs on them.
They also shot 6 of 31 for three. What was it? 10 of 42 against Nebraska.
So what is that now?
73 threes.
And they made 16?
And they made 16. Ouch.
Yeah, that's not going to do it.
Ouch.
For a
not
program
for the
that
Jays.
wants to let it fly.
No.
That is not going to do it.
Maybe for some others.
Yeah, maybe. So that is what happened earlier today. Creighton falls to San Diego State. Texas A&M up 8-5. About 7 minutes in on that one.
It's the players' era, Josh.
It is the players' era.
Haven't you heard?
How did we feel about the broadcast, about everything involved with the players' era spectacle here? Happer?
I love the TNT. I mean, that's kind of cool. Kind of feels like the NCAA tournament.
I had forgotten what channel it was on, and so
I believe tomorrow they are streaming on Max.
Just Max?
That is
There's
correct.
one game.
Yeah,
thank
wow.
you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey.
So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, people hate when things are streaming.
One of my favorite poll questions that we've ever done in the show is there any better way to find out you're in 2024 by streaming an NIL basketball tournament on Max?
That might be the most 2024 sports thing that you can do.
Welcome to
topic
new
alert.
age.
Topic alert. What is
Yeah.
the most 2024 sports thing that you can do? Because that seems like the pretty much the highest of the high.
Yeah.
Maybe you got to put a same game parlay on it too, just to
There you go.
throw a little money onto it as well.
There you go.
But man.
Maybe like watching it on like OnlyFans or something like that.
That would be very 2024.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think about watching
it on
college basketball
TikTok?
Yes. That is my nightmare. I've looked over at Happer, and I'm not peeking at anyone's phone, but I've seen Happer scrolling through the TikTok from time to time.
I've seen some TikToks in my day.
Yeah, one or two.
I'm out on TikTok.
Nick is out on TikTok.
I'm in. I think some of it is funny.
I wonder how much that a team would charge if they put their game on OnlyFans. They live stream their games on OnlyFans.
Is that so? It's like a monthly deal, right?
It can be.
Interesting. Yeah, Nick, give us the background on OnlyFans.
I know nothing more.
Is there like they do like pay-per-view stuff? I don't know.
Tony writes,
I don't
that's
know.
running at 22% from three over the last two games.
That's bad.
That is not going to do it.
I don't like that.
That is not going to do it. Nebraska football was playing offense is the equivalent of shooting 22% from three, and then they hired Dana Holgorsen, and they scored 13 versus USC, but things looked a little bit different, and then they scored 44 on Wisconsin and moved to bowl eligibility.
So what you're saying is there is a way out.
There is a way out, and also, Happer, it is only November 26th for the Blue Jays. Plenty of time to turn things around. Plenty of time. Dana Holgorsen spoke again to the media today, second time that he has done so in the last week since he was hired. This quote I found very interesting.
Oh, boy.
Steve Marek from inside Nebraska.
Marek,
excuse
Steve
me.
Marek.
Steve
Shout
Marek.
out to my guy, Steve.
Yeah, shout out to Steve. I've never had a chance to talk to Steve.
Steve is great. Steve
He
knows
follows
ball.
Me. He follows me on Twitter, though, so he seems like a good guy. And
Do you
I follow
not
him.
follow him?
No, I follow following, yeah.
Steve knows ball. I love
Yeah?
Steve.
Do you ever have him on your show?
I have a couple times.
Okay.
But not like a weekly deal.
Maybe we'll try to have Steve on sometime. But Steve, he transcribed a quote from Dana Holgorsen that I found really interesting because it kind of fits in, Happer, with what we were talking about a little bit earlier on the Connor Happer Show, which was live here at Stadium Swim earlier today on 1620 The Zone. This is what Dana Holgorsen said about the wide receiver room and how it was being used before he arrived. He said, we were probably playing people in too many different spots. I was like, so why is he here on this play? And he's there on another play.
Yeah.
So they were just kind of moving people around too much. And that's one thing I've always believed in being a receiver coach, is just settle people in its spots and you let them get comfortable. And that reduces the thinking, and they can go out there and they can just play.
Interesting, Josh.
The more he talks about the former operation, which is only 3 weeks ago. It's not like this was last year.
Yeah.
This isn't a new coach coming in and saying, yeah, how about last year? Those were a bunch of idiots.
But I love the deal. He just shows up and he's like, what the hell was going on here?
Yeah.
Like, what? Why?
And
then just changes it.
And it's a non-X's and O's guy, and I know that you are in the similar boat as I am. I'm really curious as to, like, what in the world they were doing where he arrives and very quickly is like, this is not what you should be doing, and it's just completely changed things. Who is this the worst look for? Is it Saturday? Is like it easily him, or is there a part of you that says, what in the world was, like, how was Matt Rule allowing this to happen, I guess?
Yeah. I don't know. It's Satterfield.
Yeah.
It's not that bad for Rule because it didn't get, like, terribly out of control, obviously. They might have I don't know what they could have got out of this season if Dana Holgorsen was here sooner. Maybe they'd have another win or two.
It's a great question, yeah.
Like maybe they're in the playoff or something if they do it before the year. I have no idea.
Dylan's on his way to Heisman.
Yeah, like maybe there's that world. But yeah, it's obviously like, guys, this seems pretty simple. We have guys out there who aren't executing and are playing all these different positions and need to get settled in. So let's just make that happen. A little organization, little structure, little accountability. It's gone a long way, it appears, in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, Jeff writes, it's almost like they have a tiny baby boy at wide receiver coach who doesn't know what he's doing. I would say this.
I'm actually a TBB guy.
Still?
I don't know. What's wrong with him?
Well, I mean,
I hate doing this with position coaches.
Do you?
I really do, because it's just so difficult to understand, like, who's responsible for what. Like, just
fair.
Coordinators and head coach, you can generally keep them responsible for whatever they're in charge of.
So you don't see the changes in wide receiver and how it's played better the last two games and think that he deserves some blame?
I absolutely think the wide receivers have gotten better, but we're talking about the offense as a whole getting better, and you don't think that has to do with the coordinator?
No, it definitely does.
So why are we putting that on McGuire when he's been consistent the entire time? If the receivers have gotten better over the last two games, then why isn't he responsible for them getting better as well? You know what I mean?
Well, I can answer that question. I think that part of it is that the way that Holgorsen has talked about him, and like the blocking stuff, for instance, where it seems like he is very much holding them accountable in a way that they were not being held accountable. Now, how much of that is on the coordinator versus how much of it's on the position coach? Yeah. I think that's a good question, because you're right. Like, it is so granular at times, though earlier we gave credit to Donovan Raiola for what he has done with the offensive line group, especially over the last 2 weeks as well.
So most of it with the assistants for me comes down to, like, stuff that you hear, you know? How does he work? Like, how good of a coach is he? How good of a recruiter is he? And that is really static, you know? But I haven't heard anything about Garrett McGuire that would tell me that he's not going to be a good coach or is a good coach right now.
Yeah, I mean, certainly think he's going to be back next year, too. I think, we were talking earlier about coaches that we expect to not be involved with the program again. He is someone I do expect to be involved with the program, and I know that that's frustrating for some people.
Like Barthel. Like, the running backs have gotten better over the last couple games, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Emmett Johnson is
So how much credit goes to Barthel versus how much goes to Satterfield?
I'm going off of what I hear and what I think in recruiting with EJ Barthel, and I'm like, I don't think so.
Okay. So part of this for you is what you are hearing as well. It's not just you got to give the receivers coach or the running backs coach credit for
I would like to stay as far away from that as possible as far as the position coaches are concerned. Like, I don't like what they've done with the position from a recruiting standpoint. I don't.
No, me neither.
So I think a lot of that is your job as the position coach. You build the room the way you want to build the room, and Nebraska needs to build the running back room better. Yeah. They need to build back better.
They do need to build. The Build Back Better. Why did I stumble upon my words so much?
They need that.
They need to do words. Joel writes in on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Another thing that raises my eyebrows is that Dana was here like 3 days and then tells Rule, yeah, I can call this offense. Yeah, we viewed that.
Well, maybe Dana is really good.
Did we underestimate how good he is?
Yes.
Is there a world where we are just like,
I keep trying to tell people this. He is at the top of the sport in what he does.
Yeah.
And that's just the play calling thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the play calling thing. He's about as good as there is out there. And everyone thinks that.
Yeah.
But the guy that they had previously, everyone thought the opposite of him as a play caller and as an offensive coordinator in general. So, yeah, I think the gap, you're seeing it. If it's the same players doing generally the same things. Yes,
Yeah.
Dana Holgorsen's really good.
And yet suddenly guys are open and they're being schemed into ways where
And the plays make sense and the personnel makes sense.
plays make sense, the personnel makes sense. They're building on top of each other. They're gaining copious amounts of yardage.
Copious.
T. McLean writes in, agreed with Josh on every time Dana speaks. Also, Rule said yesterday there was competition on offense. I thought that's what we were told was going on since he got here. We played that clip on your show earlier. And I don't want to misspeak because I can't remember the exact way that Rule phrased it. But essentially it was something like, yeah, we had been doing that on defense and now we're doing it on offense too, which was very odd.
Rule's disposition about offense from when he got here was like, as long as I'm here, we're going to have a really good defense and we're going to be fine at offense.
Sure.
So I just think there probably wasn't as much accountability there because of the fact
he
that they were
wasn't
going to
as
lean on their
involved.
defense. They were just going to lean on their defense. They're like, we're going to win games this way.
Yeah.
So I think what has really happened here in the big picture is that they have rethought how they're going to win games.
Let me ask you this. Why is that? Why do you think he has gone from...
Because it doesn't make any sense to have Dylan Raiola playing in an offense that scores 18 points a game.
It definitely does not.
Like purposefully.
Yeah.
Like
because that was the goal.
Yeah.
The goal was like, let's win a bunch of close games like it's the NFL.
Yeah.
And let's not run teams off the field. Do you think that going back to January then, do you think that that's what he wanted to do? Because I had a listener reach out to me earlier today and said, hey, do you think that the plan was to bring him in and make him offensive coordinator back in January?
Kind of seems like it.
You think so? Because, I guess maybe you're right. I guess I was just going so off of the mindset that it was as an analyst. Dana didn't want to be an analyst. He wanted to be a coordinator. And so he was like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But you think – so he would have brought him in and demoted or fired Satterfield back in January?
Maybe the heat wasn't hot enough to be able to do that yet.
And part of the reasoning that this listener – and I wish I could find the tweet to give them credit. But it was basically like, but he sold his house. Yeah, here it is. It was Aaron. Just odd that Satterfield sold his house before the season. And he did. That was months ago. He sold his house months ago. His family isn't living in Nebraska right now. That is not a new development. That would lend credence to maybe he wanted to bring in Holgorsen to be offensive coordinator back in whatever, January or February.
I mean,
it didn't happen.
They brought in Glenn Thomas. Just to and that was after the Holgorsen situation happened, right?
Yeah.
Remember Holgorsen was at the wrestling meet?
I do.
And then after that, here comes Glenn Thomas, and it was like, yeah, they're going to kind of
That's right. The timeline is that Glenn Thomas was after that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it feels like that was the first option, and I don't know what happened. I don't know, but I'm just putting the pieces together now as we're talking about it.
Yeah, and it goes back to the question that that you brought up earlier. How much better are they looking if he is the guy throughout the entire season? Do you think that's going to end up being a question that hangs over everything, hangs over this season when they get into the offseason? And is that dependent on if not Holgorsen is on the staff next year?
No, I mean, like people, if they beat Iowa and if they win a bowl game, people will be like, all right, bygones are bygones, whatever, onward and upward after this. But I don't know. I will still look back on it and be like, oh, man, you might have left some meat on the bone there. You might have left something on the table.
Yeah, I would say I think it's contingent on him returning or not. If he is not back, I think, especially depending on who they end up bringing in, I'm guessing that there will be a lot of frustration. If he is back for 2025, I think people will let bygones be bygones because then they'll just get excited because they're going to have a new coach that's in charge of the offense and it'll fix things moving forward.
And he being Holgorsen, was asked today about his future.
Yes.
To which he didn't want to really talk about it. I mean, that makes sense. He doesn't want to pigeonhole himself into saying, "Hey, I'm staying here forever."
I saw a comment earlier.
He wants job offers.
Yeah, I saw a comment that said that did not give me a good feeling that he will be back at Nebraska next year. And I don't know if I am. I mean, first of all, I don't know exactly what he's thinking. I'm with you. I would guess that he just wants to check out the landscape. But I also am a believer that he is not going to leave Nebraska to be an offensive coordinator somewhere else. And that, like, he wouldn't have done this unless he thought that it was going. Like, I just don't.
Here's a question.
Do you just become an OC for S's and G's for 3 games? I mean, maybe you do, but I'm not expecting it.
Here's a question for you. Is what Nebraska did against Wisconsin and what they might do against Iowa. Let's say they put up another 30-plus point performance, and the offense looks really good and all that stuff. Is this just advertising to everyone else in the world that they should hire Dana Holgorsen as their offensive coordinator?
What a question. I would say yes.
Because don't you think there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of money who are going to look at that and say, "Excuse me?
Yeah.
This is available and we can do this?"
Happer, the offense against power competition, and I'm going to try to remember how many of these games they had like defensive scores. But last year they scored 10, 14, 7, 20, 17, 24, 17, 10, 17, 10, and then that's power competition. Yeah. So then this year, right?
Now last year is a different thing.
It is.
Because of,
All right, so then let's look at this year. 21 points against Colorado because one of them was a pick 6. 24 against Illinois. 21 against Purdue. 14 against Rutgers. 7 against Indiana. 17 against Ohio State. 20 against UCLA. 13 against USC. 44 against Wisconsin. If they hit 30-plus, you're not wrong, man.
And there's no, Wisconsin, like Iowa, everyone thinks that Iowa's defense is still really good, too.
That's the thing. Because Wisconsin, there has been but it's Wisconsin. Yeah. If they do this to that defense in Iowa City, which is not as, like, ball hawkish as they have been, but it's still a really, really good defense, dude, that would raise all of the eyebrows. Also, I mean, if they're able to bring him back, talk about ramping up the hype meter to, again, unprecedented levels.
Yeah.
The guy showed up, and in 3 weeks, he turned this one of the worst offenses in the Power 4 into one of the, not the best offenses, but a potent offense.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented.
And look at what that did. I mean, the recruiting thing, like, took that'll change. That'll develop as it goes along as well. Like, things can change on a dime. And I think a lot of people around the country will see that. And they'll say, wow, we need to get out of the offensive slog we're in. And we got players.
Yeah.
And we trust our quarterback. So let's go hire this guy. Now, I think a thing that sort of attaches Dana Holgorsen to Nebraska is Dylan Raiola.
Dylan Raiola. It's a great selling point.
It is. I mean, it's tough to find. You're not going to probably find too many better quarterbacks around the country or more talented quarterbacks around the country if you're out job hunting. So that's one thing Nebraska has in their corner.
Scott emails in the Equitable Bank inbox. Come on now. If you were making $1 million a year, would you leave your crappy job when you can coach tight ends for $1 million? I'm confused. I don't think they're going to.
Wait, what's that?
If you were making $1 million a year, would you leave your crappy job when you could coach tight ends for $1 million? I don't.
Marcus Satterfield's not going to be coaching tight ends for $1 million next year.
No, it's just because they changed his job in the middle of not even in the middle of the.
Do people think that?
I guess Scott does. I guess is Scott assuming because
he didn't re-sign a new contract to coach tight ends for $1.4 million.
Hey, let's just keep the same
He kept the
deal.
same contract and got reassigned.
Yes,
and that contract is about to expire, I believe.
Correct. His contract will be expiring at the end of the season. A text from the 402: Is it bad that North Carolina job opened today? Good fit for Dana. Mac Brown is fired. Is that good or bad for Nebraska? Does it matter for Nebraska?
If I'm Dana Holgorsen, I don't want to be a head coach.
Yeah.
But it seems.
But you're not Dana Holgorsen.
But I'm not Dana Holgorsen.
He is, though.
Dana Holgorsen is Dana Holgorsen. And it kind of seems like Dana Holgorsen wants to be a head coach again. But I think you got a real good thing going here, Obviously, I say that with a ton of bias. But, like,
Jay Skur.
Yeah. Can he help Creighton basketball, too? But he's a really great offensive coordinator. Like, if Scott Frost could have it all back, does he stay an offensive coordinator forever and ever and ever and ever? Maybe.
Or at UCF.
Or at UCF, where he could do both.
Where he could do both, yeah, and not be in a fishbowl.
I don't know, man. Like there is value to that.
Oh,
Scott, guys that just do better at what they do.
Scott has fault. My fault. I thought he had another year on his contract. Even if he does, Scott,
He ain't gonna be.
he's not going to be at Nebraska. No, he's going back east. Andy writes, imagine if Holgorsen gets a job offer after an Iowa win and leaves before the bowl. That would suck. Is there a way for a reporter to request his contract to see the small print? I would be very surprised if the scribes have not requested the contract. They have the numbers. We know what he's making. We don't really know much beyond that. But what do you think it is, Happer? It's probably just like an
analyst contract.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's a contract or if it's just like we're going to pay you this rate. Like not everyone who gets paid money in various fields has contracts. Some people just get paid money. Not everyone at our company has contracts.
Maybe he's just getting paid money.
I don't have a contract.
See, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to put Nick on blast. Nick doesn't have a contract, but Nick he still makes money.
Maybe
Copious amounts of dollars.
You can make money without contract.
Maybe he just gets handed wads of cash.
Maybe. Here you go, Dana.
I have
Thanks for
various
my
jobs. I have various jobs. I make money, no contract.
No contract.
Well, actually,
you have one contract.
One of those that I have two
contracts. Look at contract.
Two contracts.
I just have one contract.
Yeah.
Poll question: how many contracts do you have?
Good one. One to two.
Topic
3
alert.
to 4.
What's the area code of your contract?
Nice.
402.
402.
Both of them. Both of them.
Both of them.
Why not Hoiberg? That would be a real tough sell for the North Carolina AD. I saw earlier too some names of that's weird. I have a new voicemail. I saw some names that were being bantied about with the North Carolina job. None of them were Dana Holgorsen. I will be interested to see if he pops up on any lists, though. Yeah, it is about that time. Ken writes, that means Nick is day-to-day. Nick is a day-to-day radio man.
That'd be pretty funny.
That's me.
That's why he makes great graphics, like this excellent background.
You like that background?
Which shows
there's a certain pressure there, right? You better perform every day, otherwise, no contract.
What did J.J. Watt say? Rent is due every day.
Yeah, now they could fire us even though we have contracts too.
They can, yeah.
It's really, what's the difference?
Just a few protections here and there.
Yep. If you think about it, a marriage is a contract.
Oh.
I guess I'm under that contract as well.
You have 3 contracts.
I had one of those, and now I have another one.
Yeah, but I could break it.
Wow, Happer.
Happer.
Your baby might be watching us right now. Hi, Sophie. And Sophie,
don't worry. Your parents are going to stay together forever.
Oh, that's so great. John writes, I bet John is, everyone was saying that I'm mean to Jimmy earlier. I would say John has become one of our more interesting comments.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah, John, a few weeks ago, he just kept posting all the names of Hall of Fame coaches. Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh, such and such. Dana Holgorsen, ... Yeah, right. To which no one was saying that he was any of those coaches.
Amazing.
Yeah. But now John writes, I bet Holgorsen thinks he should be the head coach. ... Is he?
I don't think so.
Is John saying that Holgo is attempting a coup inside of Memorial Stadium to become the guy he is hoping for his college football?
January 6th, Matt Rule.
Yikes.
By the way, I've received a text from my wife.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. How's that contract going?
Sophie is relieved.
That's good.
That's good.
I'm relieved
I think
too.
she just pooped herself.
Is that what it meant?
Yeah.
Sam writes, is Dana the Dave Ramsey of the air raid?
Okay,
Dave Ramsey of money.
Yeah, the money guy.
Yeah.
But what's the other than money?
I don't know.
All right, we'll get there.
Doug writes, Holgo is being paid $4.5 million a year the next 2 years by Houston. Very few coaching jobs would pay more than that. That he would be offered. That is the other part about this. Everyone's like, Nebraska, back up the Brinks truck. Thankfully for them, they don't really have to back up that big of a truck. It could be a normal-sized truck full of cash.
Yep.
Normal-sized truck full
And by
of
the way,
cash.
for the record, Dana Holgorsen, I do not want Dana Holgorsen as the head coach.
Keena Holgo for head co?
No. That's just Scott Frost again. We don't want that.
Scott Frost again in a variety of ways, Happer. In a variety of ways.
Indeed.
That guy loves having a good time.
Indeed it was.
Indeed it was. We are hanging out here at a very sunny Circa.
It's happening.
Did you bring sunscreen?
No, it's November.
I mean, but the sun. We're in the desert.
I only
Pepper.
brought pants and no sunscreen.
Yeah, dude, I'm so sad I didn't bring shorts. I'd be wearing my shorts right now.
Yeah, I should have brought shorts too.
But when that sun goes behind that cloud in about 18 seconds, it's going to be chilly again.
No, but look, the big cloud is too below it. It needs to lift in the air, and it won't. I guess there's the cloud.
If only the sun would go down.
If only the sun. Well, it will set in a few minutes, Nick.
And we'll be on the rooftop to see it.
And we'll be on the rooftop to see it. We are hanging out here at Stadium Swim at Circa. We'll be here tomorrow as well. And then we're off, Happer, for the next couple of days. Though, I don't think we have let the people know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's Thanksgiving,
Yes.
and then there's no shows on Black Friday. But there is
Big Red Overreaction.
And have you told the people who you are doing Big Red Overreaction with?
I am ready to make an announcement. It is hosted by Connor Happer.
Yes, which we already knew.
That's you.
That was on the original schedule.
And Nick Grimm.
Nick Grimm will not be anywhere
Go
within
Hawks.
earshot of Big Red Overreaction.
He'll be hanging out with his family.
He'll probably be
by
Oh,
It'll
Joey.
be produced by
truly.
Joseph R. Colbert.
Joey, do you know who the third person is that Connor Happer is about to say? Are we
Not
about to
sure.
deliver you some news?
Deliver it?
A third post has hit
a
Red Overreaction.
third host has hit Big Red Overreaction.
It's the guy with blank checks and champagne all over his walls. Jack Mitchell.
Oh my gosh. It has been the week of Let's go.
Did you make it? Wait,
Let's
good week
go.
for Jack.
Studio
That's
or
He'll be at his home studio.
Oh.
Joey.
StreamYardio.
Sounds
Yes.
good.
Yep. You'll do
You
a
think-
great job, Jimmy.
Do you think
Or
his
Joey?
garbage bags are
Wow,
still all
Josh.
over the wall?
Sorry, Joey.
Definitely. I don't think that's a long project.
He said that it. Oh, Kalkbrenner, not Kalkbrenner.
Yikes.
Yeah, he said he got it cleaned up, but yeah, it'll be Jack Mitchell and you. The week of Jack Mitchell continues. He has had a tremendous time.
He really has.
He's laughed a lot, he's trolled a lot, he's smiled a lot, and now he'll be with you, Connor Happer, on Big Red Overreaction.
He won't be providing any commentary on Creighton basketball during that show, will he?
I would imagine he'll have a joke or two.
Okay.
I imagine he will have a quip. Look at that, CJ, Jack for BRO. Let's go.
Jack's in the bro hive now.
Look at that. Well, he hosted one of them once with John, and he thought that John had bug spray in his backyard for his leg, but it was actually not bug spray. It was something
Deer antler spray.
It was something bad, and he sprayed it all over his leg.
And
he
what
was spraying
happened?
poison. I think it hurt himself.
You have a bottle of poison at your house?
Yeah, I think it was for bugs.
Doesn't? Was that on the grill deck?
It was on the grill deck, I believe. Yeah.
It's probably like Pam or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. It wasn't very
Keep
good.
Pam on the grill deck.
Uh-huh. All right, so that's what's
Oh.
coming up Friday.
Oh.
Thank you, Clouds.
Oh,
Thank you, Clouds.
your best, Clouds.
When we return, Hot Take Market. It'll be time for the Hot Take Market with Connor Happer and
I
me.
got some takes.
We have takes. We will get to those takes when we return. Steve Sipple is going to join us in about a half hour as well. And who knows what else. By the way, speaking of Circa Casino and Resort, we have partnered with them at 1620 to hook you up with Creighton tickets. You can win a pair of tickets to each of Creighton men's basketball's conference home games. Bricks giving can last all year long, Connor. Sign up to win right now at 1620thezone.com.
And another live ball turnover. Bird takes it away all the way home for the jam. And the Blue Jays cannot help themselves right now. They are getting really sloppy with the basketball. That time just at the top, they brought a little bit of a trap, a steal by Bird, and an easy breakaway dunk.
Ooh, that was our friend, colleague,
Dear friend.
John Bishop, voice of the Blue Jays.
John is reportedly taken to the bottle now.
Bottles, plural
Many
happening.
bottles.
He has visited the convenience stores in Las Vegas and grabbed 2-for-1 tall boys.
Oh, no.
And is now a Vegas man walking in the street, getting hammered and shouting obscenities at people. It's bad.
Well,
it's tough time.
He's got more than 24 hours until the next game, so he has plenty of time to get prepared. Plenty of time to sleep off the sadness.
Maybe we should deliver him a nice new bro tank from our favorite store downstairs.
Oh, many shirts, many comments on the shirts.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs a sadness pizza.
Maybe.
Poll question. Does John
he could
deserve
go-
a sadness pizza?
He's staying at MG on Grand. He could go right across the bridge to New York, where I had my sad pizza last year.
Oh, it was a great time.
Or he could visit Secret Pizza.
What's Secret Pizza?
Secret Pizza is a secret pizza place.
Oh, interesting.
But it's actually not that secret because everybody knows about it.
Well, yeah, because you just
I
talked
found
about
out about Secret Pizza on my first trip to Vegas when I was a little boy.
Wow, some secret that is.
Really
You're a
bad
tiny
secret.
baby.
I can't remember what hotel it's in, though, so maybe it's still
When
secret.
Grandpa
to me.
Happer was just a young pup.
Yeah.
And now look at him now. He's
No,
holding your daughter.
No, it was like I was 21.
Oh,
Uh,
that
yeah.
young boy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant like
Is
me, Connor.
Yeah, I was like 11 years
is
old.
the secret that it's not really a secret at all? Is that the secret?
No, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, if you Google it, I wonder if it'll come up. Let me see.
We'll get to Hot Take Market in just a moment. LSD Will has texted in. That picture of Nick makes him look like he has the mumps.
What?
It kind of does.
The
You
hot
look
take,
all red.
The Hot Take, or not the Hot Take Market.
pervert one.
The Nick is a baseball pervert picture.
That's me looking down at my camera. So if you were looking up at me, that's what you would see.
Oh,
it's on the third floor of the Cosmo.
Yeah, Josh just says Cosmopolitan, but shh. So where is it at? Is it like a random door and you have to walk into that random door?
I don't know. Let's go to the
Can
Cosmo
you
and
just
go to an
go-
elevator, press 3, and see if we're there.
Can you
All
just
right.
go to the Cosmo and shout pizza a bunch of times, and then they'll just
If you
let
say
you in?
pizza, pizza.
I watched.
The Little Caesars man will show up and stab you in the heart.
I was here during COVID.
Oh, fun.
It was a horrendous experience.
Yeah.
And I was at the Cosmo when I was watching. Remember that game where Gonzaga buzzer beated UCLA,
UCLA, yeah,
Jalen
yeah.
Suggs?
Great times.
I watched that game with many people in the Cosmo.
Wearing masks.
Not probably as much as they should have been.
Oh, was our New York Yankees coffee guy there?
I
Oh,
hope
yeah.
not.
Keena writes, there's a pretty fun borderline speakeasy in the Cosmo, too.
All right.
There's a speakeasy in Lincoln. I went there once. I didn't have a drink, but
It's
I
over
went
by
there.
the tavern.
It's over by the tavern. And then there's also one in Omaha.
Yeah, it's over in the Blackstone.
No,
I thought
oh,
you
there
were
is-
talking about
I've
the one
never
downtown.
been to that one. I was talking
Yeah.
about the one downtown that's
Yeah.
the Wicked Rabbit. It's
Yeah.
like inside of a
Yeah.
like a liquor store.
Yeah.
I have had a cocktail there. Very
Okay.
tasty.
Yeah.
I've not gone to the one in Blackstone, even though I was of Blackstone. All right, Joey has found it. Let's get to it. It's time for the Hot Take Market. This is the segment where we give takes that we believe or takes that we could be talked into. Happer, you're the guest of honor.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to start it off?
Which one do you want? Do you want a take that I can be talked into or a take that I believe?
Yeah, why don't we go with the ones we could be talked into first before we go all the way?
All right. Well, I only did one of each. Is that not enough?
Yeah. I got 2 takes total.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
This is a hot take that I believe. The expanded college football playoff provides more incentive for Notre Dame to not join a conference.
Ooh, explain yourself.
Home games in the playoff, cuts of revenue. Why would they risk going to a conference championship game and losing it as so long as these idiotic conferences continue to have conference championship games and no divisions? They are actually positioned better than anybody. They have galaxy brain. They were the geniuses all along for not joining a conference.
It's like that picture where you have the brain and you're sitting on your brain.
Yes.
That meme. Have you seen that meme, Nick?
Sitting on a brain?
Have you never seen this meme?
No.
All right, I'll find it for you. Let me try to poke a single hole in your argument.
All right.
They're never able to get a bye. Does that work against them? They will always have to for the rest of time. They'll have to win 4 games instead of just 3 games.
Yeah, but having that home game is pretty solid. And how many times have we seen? We've now seen it in the expanded baseball playoff, in the expanded NFL playoff. How about the teams that come from the first round, the whatever the, it's not like a play-in round or whatever, but they end up playing teams that have byes. They've won their first game, and then they win that game. Will the same apply to football? We might find out this year. We'll see. But it happens all the time in the NFL, and it happens all the time in baseball.
I like that take. There's a part of me that wants to pick them to go to the Final Four this year.
Why not?
Just depends on, it's all about matchups, Connor. Now we get to say that about football. It's going to be so weird. But I want to see what the opponents that they'll have in front of them. But I imagine that I'm going to pick Notre Dame to go very, very far. I know your guy, Josh Odson, he is very much of picking against Notre Dame in round one of the playoff.
Yep.
I am not going to be picking against Notre Dame in round one.
It's dependent on matchups, guard play, stuff like that.
Yeah, how are their forwards going to handle the
press? Their guards were really good against Army and Navy.
They were
this year.
They were. Oh, was that the hot take that you believe?
That was the hot take that I believe.
All right, hot take.
Is that hot enough?
We never judge how hot they are, except John just gets on his soapbox and this is like, their football games should be on TV more. Okay, John, that's not a hot take. It's just an opinion. He uses it as I have an opinion.
All right.
Hot take I believe. Ohio State, Georgia, or Oregon will get upset before the Final Four. Everyone is writing them on through. Oh, they're going to win. They're going to win. They're going to win. All of them have flaws.
It's perfect time to play the Fox injury music.
It is because they'll get upset. They'll go down. I think we talked about it earlier. I imagine, depending on the matchups and how the guard play will deal with the press, I imagine that I'm going to pick Ohio State to win the national championship when the playoff bracket is set. I think that that's how I feel at this time. Right now, I think that they're going to beat Oregon in a couple of weeks. I think that they're playing the best ball collectively. Maybe I'm overthinking myself with Oregon in that game versus Wisconsin because it was the 8th straight power conference game that they had played. But I like them. All that said, I just think that these three teams especially, I think collectively people are going to say they're the ones. I think that they all have a lot of flaws.
I think this would add to your point. Back in my day, if I'm John Bishop here a little bit, back in my day, teams felt the necessity that every game was so important and that every game meant so much, and they had to be perfect for every game. Now, with this 12-team playoff, the best teams in the country are still the best teams in the country, which might lead to those teams getting a little slippage during the season. Might we see that play out in the playoffs? I don't know, but I think it's more possible now than ever, obviously with the more teams in. But those teams are not held to as high of a standard anymore.
Because they don't have to be.
They don't have to be.
Yeah, and so the question is, does that go then into the playoffs the same way, or have they been able to do that, coast, if you will, a bit in the regular season, and when they get into the postseason, they're going to flip a switch and they're going to play it an entire.
That's what everybody thinks, but I'm not so sure.
At least not this season. I don't think that we have that type of team this season.
Yeah, and a lot of it is quarterback play too. Do I really love Will Howard? Ugh. Do I really love Dylan Gabriel? Not really. Do I really love Carson Beck?
Definitely not. That guy loves interceptions.
Is there an NFL star? By the way, is there an NFL star in this draft class? Shador?
Travis Hunter? Are you talking about quarterback?
No, I'm talking about quarterback. Yeah,
just Shador. That's it.
Interesting.
All right, what's your other hot take, Happer?
All right, this is a hot take that I could be talked into. We head to the NFL.
Oh,
all right. I have takes in the NFL.
Yeah,
we'll have NFL reaction, overreaction at some point.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow probably.
All right, you ready for this? It's a little steamy.
Give it to me.
CJ Stroud is actually a mid quarterback.
Whoa! Tell me more.
Well,
he's no Josh Allen.
No Justin Herbert.
He has all of the weapons in the world.
He does.
He has Joe Mixon, a powerful running game. He has, Nico Collins and Tank Dell and like everyone. And he had Stephon Diggs, right? All these receivers that anybody would die for. And I just watched that guy play this year, and it's not nearly as sharp as it was a year ago. I don't know what it is. I can't really account for that, but I'm starting. I think he was maybe anointed a little bit too soon. I am not so sure. I could be talked into if someone wanted to tell me CJ Stroud is not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you would have him right now. That was just a number that popped in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I would off the top of my head, I would guess that I would have him in my top 10. So I'd have to suddenly actually game out the quarterbacks and say, wait, you think that guy is better?
That team is not going to do anything in the playoffs. That team is not going to do anything in the playoffs.
I agree with that. They could put the Cowboys away. That's, them in Washington.
That's about as damning as anything there is.
It seriously is.
Which is another reason why the football Commanders aren't going to do anything in the playoffs this year either.
Yeah.
Once again, couldn't even beat the Cowboys. How dare they?
How dare they indeed?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not in on the CJ Stroud guy right now, or at least I could be tucked into it.
All right.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt for now, but it's getting hairy for him.
Hot take I could be talked into. I'm staying local. Not local as in Vegas. Local as in 1620 the zone. If Holgo is back, Nebraska's going to have a top 25 offense next year. I'm going all the way, baby. I wrote down top 40 earlier, but why not push it just a little bit higher?
Nebraska with a top 25 offense.
They got the 5-star quarterback, and he has a play caller that actually knows how to call plays. They'll suddenly be able to recruit to that offense a whole lot better.
Who will wide receiver for Nebraska next year?
If he could make Jamal Banks good again.
Isn't he done?
Yes, but I'm saying they'll bring in some random dudes.
Right.
They'll bring in some random dudes.
Portal boys.
Emmett Johnson's back, folks. Hopefully.
Yeah, that doesn't really throw me over the moon.
All right, well, somebody else is also back, folks, or someone is brought in, folks.
I had a prediction a long time ago that I thought I think that one of the things that we're going to be talking about in December is Nebraska being heavily involved in the top running back candidates in the transfer portal this year. And I hope that's true. That's maybe more hopeful than anything. But I still think I like him. I love Emmett Johnson, but I still think you need a game breaker at that position.
All right.
Top 25 offense.
Top 25. I could be talked into it. I'm not going to go all the way because that's insane.
What about their defense? Is that going to suck?
Yeah, well, Tony White won't be there. We got Jordan in a bottom 50 defense. Yeah, I don't know. Theo.
What's Theo talking about?
I was just going to say.
It took me a second to process that.
Theo loves the Minnesota Gopher podcast market.
What are these words?
I have no idea.
Who's Anna Kasparian?
Who knows? Who knows?
All right.
Sam writes, hot take market, you say? And then it's a quote of a photo of Josh Otson with big burly abs. Very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hot takes, hotter legislation.
Nice.
I like how.
All right, that's hot take market.
LeShune's on this whole Josh Otson for mayor thing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Josh announced his candidacy a long time ago. It's about time the community embraced it.
Yeah, what's going on, Sam? How did you just see this or hear about this?
I like it, though.
Yeah.
I like it, though.
Thank you for your support.
It's the best kind of, campaign you can run. A real grassroots campaign. A real,
$7 donations.
It's like like the best advertising for a restaurant. What is it still, Josh? Tried and true to this day. Word of mouth. Word of mouth. Nothing better. Take out a giant billboard, it wouldn't do nearly as good as my buddy telling me about Josh Otson for mayor.
Dan texts in, make Jamal Banks great again? MJBGA?
Exactly.
There you go. Make him great again. We have Steve Sipple coming up in about 10, 15 minutes. We can talk about Dana Holgorsen with him. He'll probably laugh at our jokes, and we'll have a great time.
He'll be amazed that we're in Vegas.
Oh, he will.
Because there's no way he knows about this.
What? You're in Vegas?
We had him on last time we were here, I believe, and it was exactly that. It was like, whoa, what are you guys doing there?
We could have recorded the whole the Sipple
Hey,
bit.
wait. Now what?
You do that. You do a Sipple really good. His confused. What?
Hold on.
Hold on. All right. We're still rolling on for the next 90 minutes. Live here at Stadium Swim at the Circa Casino and Resort. A reminder for a variety of things that we have going on. You can sign up for 1620, the email.
Mm-hmm.
We are not giving away $2,500 a week for the time being. But
not now.
If you want access to all of the great prizes and promotions, plus the vlog when Nick has that edited and ready to go, that is the place that you will want to be. Also, Churco is one of the exciting new restaurants in Omaha, and it's this week's Zone Deal Happer, located at 192nd and Q, this week's deal.
A Black Friday Zone Deal.
Boom. Two $25 vouchers for just $25. It goes on sale Friday morning at 9 at 1620thezone.com. We will return.
I think that's Josh Pastner, by the way.
The
That
former
guy
Memphis coach.
The former Memphis coach, the former Georgia Tech coach who came to Nebraska and beat them and then wore the COVID mask.
The Andy Reid COVID mask.
But remember what they did when they got to the locker room? They had a big COVID piñata and they blew it up.
Wow. What was the piñata?
It was a COVID.
Oh, it was
the
COVID
ball.
The little. Oh my gosh.
The cell.
God, 2020 was so weird.
Weird times.
Plus, there were all the commercials for the Georgia Senate race.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? The runoff?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Great
Oh,
times.
boy. All right, we will continue on next. Josh Peterson, Connor Happer with you. Nick Grimm here as well. And Joey Colbert back in our Zone studios on 1620 The Zone.
Isaacs, far wing, skip past to McAndrew. Open three. Yes, sir. Jackson McAndrew's first make of the second half gives him 12. He's 4 of 9 from deep. That's only the 6th three-point field goal of the game and the first in 9 attempts here in the second half. Wish we had more love for 5 Points Bank today, but alas, we do not.
That was the saddest yes, sir, that I've heard in my entire life.
Yes,
I didn't know that was possible for him to say it so
It's
sad.
like when you're a kid and you're grounded and your dad says, go do something, and you say, okay. And he says, what? And you say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir.
Josh Peterson, Connor Happer, Nick Grimm hanging out with us here. We got Joey Colbert doing a great job back in our 1620 The Zone
Josh,
studios.
take a look at the big board
Oh,
here.
my gosh, they lost again. UConn falls for the second day in a row. Look at those sad UConn fans.
The Big East might be a garbage can.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Big Ten fans, Husker fans around here have been saying for years that the Big East is mid. Are they now correct?
Well,
the Big East more than mid.
they were not right all of those years, but if they still had that take right now,
they're
they
correct.
might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, Colorado 73.
The UConn lady
72.
is crying.
Oh,
It's
no.
it's November.
It's Maui.
It's okay. It's not a big
Do you
deal.
think that's what John looked like earlier?
So this means UConn will
Look
be
at them.
playing.
They're so sad.
UConn will be playing in the 7th place game at the Maui
Wow.
Invitational. Is this
Wow.
right?
Wow.
That means they're going to have to play Chaminade probably, right?
Is that who they're going to have to play?
Hold on.
All right, so let's see what happened at the end of this game. 5.9 seconds left. UConn had the ball. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. A stupid long three. Brick's giving continued. Then they knocked it out of bounds. And Coach Prime and Colorado get
What
another
the
dub.
hell? Chaminade's not even in this year?
Who's in it?
Well, Memphis, UConn, Colorado, Michigan State, Auburn, Iowa State, Dayton, and North Carolina. So UConn's next game will be tomorrow at. These times make no sense
Do you
to
need
me.
glasses?
I think
Happer?
they're Hawaii time, Happer.
7 p.m. Hawaii time.
So what would that be here? Like 1 a.m.?
I have no
Omaha
idea what
time?
Hawaii time even means.
That feels weird.
That seems weird.
Yeah. Anyway, UConn sucks.
Wow.
So,
What happened to them?
I don't know,
You're
man.
a basketball.
Well, they're not called U Pro.
Dan Hurley freaked out again.
You pro.
You know, pros.
Oh,
cons.
good Lord.
That's not good.
No.
That's not good.
Nope, it's not. It's not. Grant writes, I didn't actually know that yes, sir, was John. It indeed was John.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that one was yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How concerned should Creighton fans be right now, do you think? Like, because I know
medium
that
high.
Yeah, I know some are wanting to say, like, can this be, this year's version of what happened 2 years ago? Or was that 3 years ago? Now?
2.
It was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
They got
6
off to a
losses in a
6-0
row.
start. Then they suddenly lost 6 in a row, including 2 here in lovely Las Vegas.
Yep.
And then they were fine.
I've
They
also
went to their
seen-
first Elite Eight.
I've seen some people compare this. This is definitely a little much.
Okay.
People have compared this team to the year after the Doug group left.
Oh, that was a bad team.
Yeah. This
Second-
team,
the
fortunately,
second Big
this
East team.
team's center is not Zach Hansen. All right. No offense to Zach Hansen.
It's a name that I have not thought about.
I
in a
always
decade.
loved Zach Hansen.
I'm sure you did.
I thought Zach Hansen did a lot more. Like he overachieved, right?
Sure,
Zach
sure.
Hansen was awesome.
Yeah.
But Brian Kalkbrenner is the center, and he is the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in the conference.
He is indeed. He
So,
is indeed.
Yeah. There's at least a floor there that's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So, I
But
don't know.
medium high level of concern.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on what your expectation is.
Yeah. Well, I know
do you
coming
think
in.
they're going back to the second weekend?
So that was my expectation coming in.
I think they're I thought they were like a bottom end of the top 25 type of team.
Yeah.
This year.
So
That's-
maybe a second round team.
Yeah, like an 8-9.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
Do you
that
still
range.
feel that way?
That's on the table still.
It's definitely on the table.
It's on the table.
Definitely on the table. It's a long season. Debo.
Where's Fedor?
Debo has not seemed happy with. I don't know if it's you and I or just me today.
Probably you, because I'm a Jays guy.
This is not a new trend for the Jays, and yet y'all are giggling like it is.
What do you mean?
Y'all
What
are
do you-
giggling. We will see.
What is this? What is not a new trend?
I don't know. Losing badly? I don't know. Debo writes, for context, 0-2 in Big East last year, smoked by UNLV and Colorado State. 2022, we know what happened.
No doubt.
Oh, he was just saying me. Debo, I'm just asking the questions. I'm asking the questions that other people are asking.
Oh, people are Jays
Is Creighton
fans are
cooked
asking
this year. Yeah. Debo, you can believe. That's awesome. I was asking Happer. I wanted to know what you thought. Happer seems fine. He seems to think everything's okay.
No.
Sorry, I don't mean to giggle.
It's not all okay, but
it can be okay.
It definitely can be okay. It is November after all.
Mhm.
It's Hoopsgiving. And sometimes people lose in Hoopsgiving.
They do. It's okay to
Even
lose.
UConn twice.
and one of them to Colorado.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they still had a basketball team.
I think Tad Boyle's still the coach out there.
Yeah,
He's getting the job done.
Salesperson Josh is going to be peacocking up and down the office, though Colorado lost to Kansas. Oh, man, I didn't get a chance to see him this week. I wonder
Interesting.
if that smile would have been a frown.
I only happened to see him when Colorado does something good.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough.
Fascinating that he never comes downstairs when they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when he lost that bet to me, he just had to drop the beers off of my desk. Just dropped the beers off of my desk. Ken writes, Debo looks like he needs to speak to a therapist.
No, me and Debo, we're handshake memeing. We're cool.
You're good.
It's just a hard thing right now.
Chief 1999, did I miss the segment where Josh pisses everyone off? Yeah,
No,
it was
that
this
hasn't
morning.
happened yet.
It was this morning at like 10:45.
What happened then?
Jimmy and I arguing in the YouTube chat.
Oh, yeah. No. We have another segment for that.
Yes.
We have the.
Hey, Debo,
can we tell people actually what that segment's going to be?
we have not said what it is yet. Debo, if you're like, stop being mean to Creighton fans, don't worry. We have a segment idea for tomorrow that a lot of Nebraska fans wouldn't find appropriate.
Maybe.
But I think it'd be a great topic alert.
Yeah.
It would take up the entire show.
Yeah.
Entire show.
Are we going to tell people what it is? Concepts of a plan?
Do you want to?
Sure.
Okay.
We are going to, in honor of the end of the season coming up,
sadly,
we are going to,
and the transfer portal opening,
we are going to put a lot of Nebraska football players into transfer portal tiers. It's basically likelihood of transfer.
Yes.
Right?
How likely
But
are they to leave Nebraska?
They're separate tiers. They're like, this guy's going to get a gigantic bag from Georgia tier.
So, like, watch out for Dylan Raiola in that tier, potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, that doesn't make him likely to leave, but
no,
it
you're
does.
Just putting him in there.
Yeah.
Ja'Cory Barney would fit into that.
There is.
What was the Malachi Coleman tier?
The Malachi Coleman disgruntled playing time tier.
Yep.
There's that one.
Yep.
There is you're probably a walk on and you're going to get cut.
Yeah,
tier.
because they got to get down to 105.
There's a lot of people on that tier.
Yeah,
probably.
We might just start reading off names. Have you heard of this guy? No.
Yeah.
See you later, bro.
And there was
another one. There was one more. Yeah, there was one more. So we'll do that tomorrow. See, there we go. We're all coming together.
We're all coming.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great time. Plus NFL reaction, overreaction tomorrow as well. I can't wait to participate, and we'll do predictions and stuff. God, this is going to be so weird. It's the end of the week, Nick.
Oh,
it is the end of the week.
The wait, he actually has another year of eligibility tier.
Yes, I can't wait to find out that Gabe Irvin can still play again next season.
Almost for sure can.
Gosh darn it. Can Ramir return?
I don't think so.
Does he have another year of eligibility?
I think he's done.
That's surprising to me.
He could get it back, though.
That's surprising.
All that, and Creighton can't even play a professional basketball player from Europe on their college team.
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet Creighton can't have a professional basketball player on their roster.
Sad.
Yeah.
It seems a little sad.
Cancel culture has come for the Jays.
Yeah.
All right, when we return, something that cancel culture will never come for. That is Steve Sipple, our friend and yours. Sipple, join us when we return. It is Unsportsmanlike Conduct live from Vegas here on 1620 The Zone.
would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
It would be nice to have a boat.
Throw.
From your mom.
Sipple the snowflake is one old triggered soul with reading glasses sitting on his nose and takes that really blow. Sipple the snowflake deserves a mouthpiece to the face. He says LeBron's the GOAT and Steph will choke. Then he runs to his safe space. Hey, we gotta be careful here, he tells us when we speak. But when 10 games air in a day, he thinks that's too many. Oh, Sipple the snowflake says words like mature. He's a blogger now and an honor too, and also really old.
And he joins us right now on the 42 Degrees The Source Hotline. His name is Steve Sipple. Hello, Sip.
Can you hear me all right?
We got you great. Do you hear us?
Yeah.
What do you hear? What do you hear, Sipple?
I hear two young lads doing radio in the, I don't know, what do you call that area? Omaha, Dundee.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. If I told you, Sipple, that we weren't in Dundee, where do you think we are right now?
Oh, God, do not tell me you're in Las Vegas.
Oh, Sipple, we are indeed.
We're in Vegas.
We're back, baby.
God. I don't.
Hi, Sip. I'm here, too.
What's that?
Nick is also in Vegas with us. They allowed him to
Hi,
come
Nick.
too.
Oh, my God. This is I'm not big on surprises, but I like this one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I really am envious. You know how envious I am right now. You know it.
Yeah, but you get to go to Iowa City on Black Friday.
Oh, yeah. That's about as depressing as you can imagine.
Yeah, but you're always such a fan, Sipple, of places that are desolate and have nobody near.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is not the place for you. There's
Too many
people everywhere.
There's a lot of like-minded people in Vegas. Like, if you just think about it.
I went on a run today, Sipple, and I can confirm that there are a lot of people that would say I'd like to cut a Sipple's gym.
And those places I talk about, how many of them are cold weather? They're always warm weather. El Paso, Shreveport,
and Las Vegas.
Yeah. Oh wow! So you guys, are you having? Stupid question, but I'm going to do it anyway. Are you having fun?
Had a great time. We got here on Sunday morning, and so we spent basically 10 hours sitting in the sports book watching NFL football.
Yeah, both of you are married, but the question is, are you still married at this point?
Oh, yeah. Doing a great job of being married.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to bring home some more bread, if you know what I mean.
All right, we'll do that.
Yep, working on it. Working on it.
We will. Sip, first time we've had a chance to talk to you since Saturday's performance versus Wisconsin. Like, I know this is always such a weird week because it feels so short, and so we have to turn our attention to Iowa. But I did not want to begin the interview without having a chance to ask you about what you saw, and I guess just how surprising it was. I think you and I were in agreement on the Holgorsen move, that they needed a spark. I'm wondering if you're like me, that as bullish as you were, you didn't see 44 points coming against a Power 4 team that had owned the program for a decade.
No, I did not see 44. If you would have predicted 44, I don't even know what I'd say. You're just going out of your way to be different. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
Who did? I mean, that's the highest point total in rules seasons here, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's the most points. Well, when is the last time they scored 44?
Against a power program, it's been a long time, man. It's been a while.
They scored 56 one time.
It's Northwestern. Yep, good call. 2021.
Yeah. So yeah, I was very surprised. I'm just surprised at the level of execution at times. I know that sounds terrible, but I mean, there's been a lot of times where, if you think about it, I'm not really being unfair, where they would go, 3 out of every 5 plays. You just kind of saw noticeable instances of a lack of execution. And now here they were executing at a pretty high level, I thought. And the two big things were Emmett Johnson. His legs look really live, which that's the part of that discussion that's really interesting to me. I guess it's a nod to the fact he hasn't played a ton. And you know what? When we do this thing, and I do it too, we question whether they should use this committee. This is where it will pay off, And if Nebraska happens to be going well, like, if they happen to be like a team knocking on the playoff door, and you're using the committee, in that case, it'd be a good thing because your running backs are fresher late when the games really, really get important. But Emmett looked really good, and I thought Dylan Rail looked really good, and second straight game. You can't leave out the fact that the offensive line, particularly in pass pro, was strong. I thought they were okay-ish in the run blocking part. Good. I mean, they were good, but exceptional pass blocking.
Simple, I love how you bluntly asked the question to Rule yesterday, like, hey, yeah, all these things are happening. It's very obvious that all these things are happening, but why? What is the difference? And Rule talked about execution and some of the small tweaks that Dana Holgorsen has made. To your eye, Simple, what's different from 2 weeks ago to now with Nebraska's offense?
I mean, the ball coming out quicker. I think that has to be mentioned because they've emphasized it, and it has. Dylan looks more comfortable. Dylan got healthy too, as Rule pointed out, and I kind of played that down against USC, where just because his dad was really playing it down, Dominic was really playing it down, the injury part, but I think he was a little banged up, and then just some of the things they're doing that they're changes. You've seen 2 backs. You didn't see it much against USC, but you saw a lot of at least 5 instances of 2 backs in this game. The way they used Corey, I mean, a little slants and mesh routes, a little different, just a little different concepts. Those things are important. Just the way he frees up people, but also something you mentioned today is important. He's simplified it. Big playbook. I mean, Rule's got a big playbook accumulated over years, and those guys, those veteran coaches that he has, have accumulated things. And those guys from that Cal Mummy, Mike Leach tree, Leach didn't have a playbook. So as you guys know,
he had that tiny piece of paper.
Yeah, and all he did was put dots on that, just showing where the ball's been going. He held a note card on the sideline. Moose told me one time that all that was just dots. It was a form of a football field, and he would just, it's fascinating. He just put a dot where the ball went, so he wasn't going to that side of the field too often, just to balance it out. So anyway, he simplified it. He talked about that today. Holgorsen talked about that, where, for instance, he wondered why they would move receivers between those positions, X, Y, Z, whatever the hell they call them. And you just have a guy at one spot so he doesn't have to think. Let the coach have to do the thinking. So all stuff that makes sense to us as laymen, right?
Yep.
And this is where you guys are in this conversation. Give yourselves credit. You watch a ton of football. Sometimes I think we think we don't know. There's a lot of stuff you do know. I mean, and if you listen to these coaches, it becomes kind of clear.
Steve Sipple, HuskerOnline.com, joining us right now on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. Sip, I mean, one of the big questions I think Husker fans are wondering about, Apper and I did the post-game show on Saturday, and we got it a lot. I'm sure you're getting it a lot, is like, okay, but is he going to be back next year? There was a question that he got today about it again, and he was very non-committal. What do you have any read on this? Can anyone have a read on this situation right now, given we still don't know what jobs will and won't be open, and I guess what Holgorsen does or doesn't want in terms of a job moving forward?
I think you'd have to be pretty close to Holgorsen to have a good read on it. Non-committal is a good word. I mean, I have to say, just to be clear, are you going to be calling plays in the bowl game? I mean, that's how indefinite it all seemed to me. Purposeful, probably. I don't know. It's not like he needs leverage for money because he's getting paid. He's gonna, he's making 4.5, and he'll make upwards of 4 because of the Houston contract. So it's not like a big leverage play from a money standpoint, I don't think. But I don't think he wants to tip his hand too much because he could still be a head coach somewhere. He's viable in my opinion. I mean, he had 3 losing seasons at Houston, but now that you see him, I mean, just put yourself in the shoes of an AD who's just looking on to what he's doing here and how he comports himself and how he dug in and how quickly it got better. Doesn't that make an impression? He's at the podium and he's very forceful and he's very charismatic, but he's also deferential to the head coach, so he plays politics pretty well. All very indicative of a guy who's been a head coach for 13 years at 2 power programs. Houston, I'll say, is a power program now. So I mean, if I was his agent, I'd say keep your powder dry. I mean, come on. If you're Arkansas, when you look at Holgorsen,
I made that point earlier, Sipple. Same exact thing. If you have an offense that isn't scoring right now, you would probably look at that guy. However, there's one caveat in there that definitely keeps him attached to Nebraska. Nebraska has Dylan Raiola, and that doesn't alone keep him here, but it's something that Nebraska has that other teams around the country with maybe more resources or whatever don't have.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that does help. I've got the sense that but again, I think I'm just going with non-committal. He was non-committal. I've heard nothing at all, and it's not like I don't. I try to check with people. I've heard nothing that suggests he's locked in there. Nothing from anybody. So I'm keeping an open mind, and that's what I believe that Holgorsen do. So I think everybody keep an open mind on this.
What's your read on Tony White beyond Friday?
I don't know. I'd like to think he'd be here, but I mean, who knows? He's going to get. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, these guys. He's not, attached to Nebraska in any way. 1 year, 2 years, I guess, 2 years here, but if there's a better opportunity, I keep an open mind on that too.
Steve Sipple's with us from HuskerOnline.com. How much momentum, if you believe in that sort of thing, does Nebraska gain? I mean, and it's involved with these conversations that we're having too, as far as coordinators or coaching staff and all that stuff. Nebraska has a similar performance to what they did this past weekend on Friday against Iowa, and then maybe even in the bowl game as well, although there's some overlap with the portal and all that stuff in there. Like, what can they do for themselves on Friday to make this program even more attractive to onlookers as December goes on?
Oh, I mean, I think it would be big. A win against Iowa would be gigantic. I mean, because now you're in a good bowl, you can sell that. Maybe it would make the job more attractive to Holgorsen. I mean, the job could become more attractive to Holgorsen if he knows he can get a couple more guys here to enhance the offense. And then just the fan momentum, just the feeling, the positive feeling it would generate into that streak against Wisconsin, 10-game losing skid, and then beat another nemesis. Oh, God, it'd be big. I mean, it'd be huge. I almost don't allow myself to think about it. I mean, Nebraska been such a disappointment in these games for so long. But there's a real chance. I don't know why that line's 6. It doesn't matter that much, but it's odd. There's a real chance, and the matchup's good. And if they do pull it off, they're going to go to Tampa and they're going to have 15 practices, and everything's going to feel a lot better than it did a week ago.
Sip, along those lines, there has been a debate within the fan base, and I know John and I had it a lot as Nebraska got to 5 wins this year of like, if they get to 6, whenever it happens, they will play looser then finally because they won't have that hanging over them. Sadly, there will only be one game where we can really test that theory. Are you a believer in that? And if so, what would that mean for Friday night?
Yeah, I'm not. Josh, Connor, you guys know me well enough, and I've talked to you so much over the years. I hate the psychology discussions. I do. I get tired of the, how do you feel? Are you hungry? I like what Rule's been saying recently, which is just do your job, be in the A gap when you're supposed to be. Run the proper route, catch the ball. Is there momentum? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, like do they, because they finally locked up a bowl berth and they don't have to worry about it?
Well, they play freer. Yeah, as much as I hate the conversation, I think it applies. I have to think it applies. It's just I think the trick, Josh, is not to let it go too far to the sort of relaxed team. And that's where the head coach has got to come in. He's got to understand the vibe of his team. That would be my concern about the conversation if I were Rule. You can play freer now. You can't. There's just a big weight off everybody's back. But don't let it go. Don't let that go too far.
Yeah.
You want to be uncomfortable most of the time. I just think that's everybody. That applies to everybody. I always get nervous if I feel too comfortable. And I think that's the way they got to play it. Almost like they're still scratching for this. So, but there is an element of that I think that applies to this. I do. They should. The pressure is a funny thing. It's tricky. And I've always told you guys, too, football's tricky that way. These discussions are tricky because not everybody feels the same way. There's so many people involved, So I don't know. It's hard to. I don't. The one thing I'd add is I don't think Gillen's ever different. I think he's always the same.
Yeah.
But there are probably some guys that'll benefit from this.
Simple, I wholeheartedly agree with you on the I hate talking about mentalities and stuff like that. But it's been our life around here for a long time. What are they going to be like? What are we going to get when they play a game? And there's just no knowing. So let me ask you this: with the addition of Dana Holgorsen and the approach that he has brought to the table, and you talked about Rule talking about, hey, just make it about the football. Is this a time in which Nebraska maybe cares about feelings less than any time in the last few years here? Like, it feels like that's the direction it's pointed here, where Dana Holgorsen comes in and he just says, yeah, I don't really, you're number 18. Go out and block the guy. It's less touchy-feely, and it's more just, hey, get the job done.
Well, it is, but it's mostly just because he hasn't been here and he hasn't formed any relationships, right? It's easy. He has an advantage in that regard. He has a lot of disadvantages in the situation. Holgorsen has a lot of disadvantages in this situation that he got into, but a lot of disadvantages. Obviously, we'll talk about them today, but that is an advantage. You can spin that as an advantage in that he can make these moves without. He just doesn't have any attachment to this guy. He didn't recruit Thomas Fedone. He didn't know him, so it's easier. It would be easier to make those sort of chess piece moves, and you're just moving a figurine on a board. It's not someone you know, or you know his uncle, or you know his mom or dad. It's just a guy. No, you don't want to take that too far. He talked today. Dana's learning names. He called him Luke Lindenmeyer, and he called those tight ends by their first names. It was just kind of notable to me. So, and he's now calling the assistants by their names. That's all notable, because I think when you come in, think about it, put yourself in those shoes. how would you know everybody's name? God, you just have to trying to learn all the plays and all the how you call plays and all the new vernacular, and then by the way, I don't even know these names. So God bless him. That's why he's working 16 hours a day.
Steve Sipple, HuskerOnline.com. Sip, thanks as always for joining us, man. Hope you have a awesome Thanksgiving and a safe trip to Eastern Iowa for the game on Friday.
When are you coming back, guys?
Thursday morning.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to Colorado for a family Thanksgiving on my dad's side, so I'll be back in Omaha on Saturday.
Well, you got a lot more energy than I do. All right, have fun. Stay out of trouble. If you get in trouble, you can call me.
Bye, Dad. Love you.
Bye, Sipple.
Love you too. Bye.
Steve Sipple. Joining us
always
on the
like to
42
surprise him
degrees.
with that.
Oh, man, the Source Hotline. Good stuff there. On the touchy-feely. Oh,
yeah. I love hitting Sybil with the I love you.
Yeah, I love you,
He
Sybil.
always feels
I love you.
awkward.
Yeah.
He always feels weird when I call him Dad, too, but I always
like
do
it.
that, too.
I like it.
Hey, I just came up with, we don't do we do a betting segment on this show? Do we do gambling advice?
I mean, you can. Feel free. What do you got for us?
I have the mortal lock of the century.
Oh, okay.
I have never been more confident in a bet.
Okay.
After just thinking of this idea a mere 15 seconds ago.
It sounds good.
Give it to us.
Nebraska and Iowa over 39.5.
I'm feeling the same way,
There's
too.
no doubt in my mind.
Nebraska might hit that number by themselves. Am I right, folks?
Nice. Iowa's going to run it all over Nebraska.
Yep.
Nebraska's safeties suck. They
Yep.
can't tackle.
Yep.
Caleb Johnson's going to run for like 250.
Yep.
They're scoring points.
And so is Nebraska.
And Nebraska's scoring points because Iowa's secondary is doo-doo.
And they have Holgorsen with that little tiny playbook that said, just run to the open place. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, why didn't we think of that before?
Yeah, over. That's done.
All right.
I would bet a lot of money on that. I'm going to.
I like it. Tomorrow is going to be I Have an Opinion on your show, which I'm very excited for. Sal gives us a little tease, says hot take, Stibbs' best intro is Dumb Debates intro. I would disagree. It's very good.
He did work very hard on it.
It's very creative. It required a lot of moving pieces. I do not think that it is his best open, though. My favorite
Ham
was
is the water of meats.
Ham. That's like one of the OGs.
Yeah, pretty good.
Sybil the Snowflake.
Sybil the Snowflake is awesome. That was a Lennon McCartney joint. I wrote the lyrics and he sang the song. I'm trying to remember.
Hey.
There was one that came up that I really enjoyed.
I had a question for you.
Yeah, give it to me.
Who sings the movie club song? Who sings the movie club theme? Is that you or John?
That's John.
That's John.
Every time I hear it, I think it's someone different.
John sung it inside of a closet, I believe, during COVID. That was how he sung that.
Incredible. I
Yeah,
love it.
that's how he sung that one. Dang it, there was a Stibbs intro that I was going to give him a shout out for, and now
Something smells like garlic.
Now I can't even remember which one it was. Maybe
I
I'll
like
think
garlic.
about it.
You smell
Sal
like
says
garlic?
most
I
would
do.
say Sipple the Snowflake. Oh, the Chattel or Sipple game.
I
it
never
was
heard that.
Bum, 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 bum. Do you like the Sky Riders too, or something?
I've never
It's-
heard that before.
Joey,
Pretty
see if
good.
you can search Chattel. That would probably help us find
it might
it
be
faster.
It also might be on the games page.
Yeah? Well, if he goes to Segway and just searches Chattel, I don't think there's a lot of Chattel drops in the system, so I feel like he'll be able to find it a little faster.
Looking for
There's
it right
actually-
now.
There's actually two Chattel or Sipple opens. One of them was one that I made, which was to the Beatles' Hello, Goodbye, Chattel, Sipple. And then Stibbs did a different one, and his was better than mine.
Classic You and the
shockingly.
Beatles song.
I do love
like
the
the
Beatles.
Beatles.
I do love the Beatles.
Some are saying it's the only band you actually even know.
And Explosions in the Sky.
When we
Because
were at
it's from a movie.
when we were at that restaurant last night, they were playing a bunch of mid 2000s.
Yeah,
and
I
Josh
know-
was like, "What's going on here?"
No,
This is
I
stupid.
know all of the. No, you don't.
You
dare
did have
do
to
that.
ask me about Taking Back Sunday, though.
I couldn't
Like,
remember
the
who it
Taking
was.
Back Sunday
Okay,
song.
come on. I couldn't remember. Theo, with a comment not related to a Minnesota podcast, says, like this marathon show, you guys should do 10 to 6 more often.
To be fair, we had a 2.5 hour break
We
in
did.
between.
Yeah, and
which
I'm
was
still
great.
tired.
I love that.
I had
Yeah.
a sandwich.
If we could,
I had a burger.
no, that's a lot of time still. It's a
8
lot of
hours
time.
a day?
It's less than 8. It's like 6.
That's still a lot of time.
It's like 6, but there's a break in the middle.
See, yeah, but
and
we're-
it's fun.
We're here. We're going so off of vibes. Like, it'd be different in, like, April. 6-hour show in April, a little different than 6 hours.
you convinced me.
On Thanksgiving
Yep,
week.
you're right.
Unless we're getting like a really big raise.
Yeah.
I would love a raise. Joey, why don't we look forward a little more during the commercial? We can go to break, and if we find it, we find it. If we die, we die. And if not, We won't play it.
What do we got coming up, Josh?
Well, we still have some content at the bottom of the hour, which
Love
is when
content.
Nick Grimm reads us the questions that he wrote, and he wrote alone. We'll have the What's for Dinner segment. And I don't know.
I have some ideas.
We got some responses about Dana Holgorsen. We got a variety of things. I did see a college football playoff take that I would like to throw your way.
Ooh.
We can do that when we return because the new rankings come out in less than an hour.
Oh.
So we will do that. Oh.
Wait. Miss.
Excuse me.
Can we get some more waters?
I
Thank
figured
you.
might as well just do it on the radio.
Thank you.
Might as well just do it on the radio.
Thank you. I
could tell.
Made
I
eye
could tell.
contact
Yeah.
with her. It was like, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And then I forgot to ask her the thing that I wanted to ask her.
Yep. Yeah, you're just waving. Thanks for having us.
I was distracted.
Thanks for having us. All right, we'll come back, get ready to wrap up the show here on this Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
Farron's open.
Josh Peterson.
That's a good one.
Yep, there you go. You got the Mike Farron full screen. All right, back after this on Unsportsmanlike Conduct 1620 The Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to play Sipple or Chattel. Just take those newspapers off the shelf. I like to sit and read them by myself. I have some breakfast with a glass of Ensure. I miss the old Skyriders tour. Wish I could still go to a disco, but I got arthritis in my elbow. I don't like Twitter 'cause I'm way too mature. I miss the old Skyriders tour. I miss the old Skyriders tour. Just some old scribes writing with some fervor. When I felt sad, there was only one cure. I miss the old Skyriders tour.
There you go. That one is really good.
I do like that one a lot.
And the best part too was when he would. So the game was because I saved things from their columns over the course of months, and then he would read them, and they'd have to guess if it was Tom Chattel or Steve Sipple. But then he would read them in that same voice, but with this old school Penn State fight song attached to it, where it's like fight on state. Fight on state.
With a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
I've had to recreate a few of these too.
Oh, Joey, good work. Very good work.
Thank you very
Man.
much.
Bayman. OMG, I forgot about this song. Sal, that's pretty good.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah,
It's
that was
beautiful.
a good one. Theo.
I wish the old Skyriders tour.
Theo, with some more comments before we talk a little playoff for a couple moments. Is PJ Manning the electronics back in Omaha this whole time? Station would
PJ?
fall apart without PJ and Nick. Who's PJ?
I don't know who PJ Manning
PJ
is.
Fleck?
Who's PJ?
Is PJ Manning, not is PJ Manning.
Oh, not PJ Manning. PJ, is he Manning?
Is he Manning?
So PJ Fleck?
Is PJ
I never know what's happening.
Manning the electronics?
I don't
Very,
know.
very
Yep, need some
interesting.
clarification on that one. That's
Yep,
okay.
yep, indeed.
What are we
Indeed
talking
it
about?
does.
Playoff?
Is it
Yes.
producer Joey? That PJ?
Producer Joey.
Or producer Josh?
Producer Josh.
Producer Josh.
Oh, sorry, Joey. It's probably about producer Josh. Either way, one of the producers
Too
that
many
is
J's.
Manning, not Ben Manning.
No.
Not Ben Manning.
Mr. Dirty Mask.
Mr. Barbecue Mask. So I saw this tweet, Happer, and I wonder what you think about it. It's from John Bishop's king, Kelly Ford, Mr. K. Ford himself.
Mr. Analytics. I love analytics.
Well, that team beat Oklahoma, and they're 22nd in the K. Ford ratings. No, John, that's pretend.
One of the first things that John said when I saw John yesterday was, damn it, my keyboard hasn't been updated
He did
yet.
say that? He did say that.
And I didn't call him out, but I wanted to.
I was in bed last night right before I went sleep, and I was scrolling on Twitter, and he had been finally updating his K Ford ratings, and I thought of John. K Ford tweeted about a half hour ago, I haven't seen many people talking about this, but I do believe there is a scenario, highly unlikely, but possible nonetheless, in which the Big 12 does not have a team in the CFP. How? 12-1 Boise State Mountain West champ. 11-2 Tulane / 11-1 Army, whoever is ranked higher tonight, AAC champ. Big 12 has a 4-loss champ. I am not predicting this. I am not rooting for this. I am simply pointing out the possibility that exists that I don't think anyone is really talking about.
My.
Happer, how realistic is something like this? Do we think that there is a world where the Big 12, because of their convoluted tiebreaker, that they are actually left out of the college football playoff?
In what scenario do we get a 4-loss Big 12 champion?
Well, I mean, do you have the list of the Big 12 champs in front of you right now? Or the Big 12 teams?
Yeah.
At the top of the standings?
Yeah, I mean, I have the conference standings. I guess I don't have their team records.
Here, I can give you the whole team records real fast. Let me scroll
So
down.
Arizona State is 6-2, BYU 6-2, Colorado 6-2, Iowa State 6-2.
All of those teams except for Colorado are 9-2. Colorado is 8-3.
Baylor is still. Is there still a scenario where Baylor makes the conference title game?
There is a scenario in which Baylor, Kansas State, TCU, Texas Tech, or West Virginia makes it, even though they are all 5-3 in conference. They need
So
a
what would
ton
that
of
scenario
help.
be? That would be Colorado losing again. That would be Arizona State losing again.
Yeah, the tiebreaker was that at least 3 of the 6-2 teams would have to go down, and then they would also need a lot of other
All right,
help.
so here's what I just did on our tiebreaker website.
Okay.
I had Colorado lose to Oklahoma State.
Perfect.
I had Arizona State lose to Arizona, which seems highly unlikely.
Yep.
I could see the Colorado one, but once again, unlikely.
I assume you have Iowa State.
And
Iowa
then
State
I have
definitely lose.
K-State beating Iowa State.
Do you have BYU falling?
And then I have
BYU lose just to help us out a little bit more.
Okay, let's have BYU lose.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hit send.
Okay.
And I'm going to see what it does. In that case, Baylor and Texas Tech would play each other.
Okay.
In
So
the conference title game.
Baylor would be 8-4. Texas Tech would also be 8-4. So there is a world where it happens.
Yeah.
Now,
a lot of help though.
Like Mr. Analytics, Kelly Ford has said.
So let's
he is
take
not predicting this.
Let's put Arizona State back in. Let's say Arizona State wins.
Okay.
This weekend, they clinch a spot. You get Arizona State and Baylor still, even if you just flip that one game and then Baylor beats Arizona State in the title game and then bang, you're there.
Yeah.
Wow. I had not considered.
Yeah.
I had not considered that.
Not at all. It is.
So,
I mean, it's possible, not likely, but it's possible.
8-4 Baylor with a win over Arizona State in the title game and a win against Kansas in week 14, which is coming up.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No other ranked teams though. They lost to BYU. They lost to Iowa State. They
Not
lost
horrible losses.
No, they lost to Colorado.
Not
they lost to
horrible loss.
Utah. That's pretty bad now.
Not
But at the
bad,
time,
yeah.
it was fine.
Would that team be ranked behind two-loss Tulane?
Would they be ranked? Would that team be ranked? Tulane is at 18 in the AP poll. Last week in the CFP rankings, Tulane was 20th.
Ooh,
that's tough, man.
Yeah, it does get a little hairy there.
Yeah, because Tulane, you figure that they're only on their way up right now, and as long as Boise State doesn't do something stupid, they will at the very least remain where they're at. And that's
Maybe
near
they
the
would
top
just
12.
include Colorado.
just to
put
make
them
it-
in.
Yeah, like hey, we needed to give them. Here's my yeah. Would they actually be ranked?
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
how about that? There's a possibility. What are
Yeah.
we looking forward to? I guess that's a question in content that Nick sent us earlier, so maybe we can wait until then. But we're a half hour away from the
Thank you for
latest
sending that,
rankings.
Nick.
Yeah, good job, Nick.
That's
we're
what I'm here for.
We're a half hour away from you know.
Oh my God, is that true?
Yeah, it comes out at 6, so it comes out at 4 o'clock for us, Happer.
Wow.
4 o'clock for us.
Pacific time.
Look,
Yeah.
there's CJ Wilcher shooting free throws at the Players Era Festival.
Oh man, I forgot that he still plays basketball.
It is festival.
Was he on Nebraska last year, or was that
No,
2 years
2
ago?
years ago.
Wow. Time flies, Happer, when you're having fun and going to the end.
Wait a minute. No, he was there last year.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought he was on their tournament team. Right? He was on their tournament team?
Ooh, I don't know.
Poll question. Was CJ Wilcher on the tournament team?
The name
Ken Pop-
Wilcher has the same vibe as the word squelch.
Interesting.
Squelcher?
Like
Yeah.
Wilch? Hey, real quick before we go to content, the Wisconsin officer who grabbed Donovan Raiola's arm
Oh, God.
has called it a misunderstanding and has issued an apology. Reading from a story on Omaha.com from Todd Milewski of the Wisconsin State Journal. How I understand this, Happer, is they basically thought that he was not a coach. And
That's
they-
what it seemed like to me.
And that is what
he
it
was
is.
storming the field, made a comment.
Yeah.
And I got to get that. Now, I still don't completely understand why the Wisconsin guy that was supposed to be guarding Luke Fickell had
Yeah.
that reaction. But
So let me see. Who's this quote from? So the UW-PD spokesperson, Mark Lovacott, said it was a misunderstanding amid a pretty chaotic scene. He said Boardman made contact with an unknown individual who had approached Badgers coaches as they were leaving the field. Once it was confirmed that was the individual was a member of the Nebraska coaching staff, the officer apologized for the misunderstanding. The interaction concluded cordially with a handshake.
really pulled on that arm, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Very strongly.
Yeah.
Very, very, very strongly.
Interesting.
Yeah, indeed. So
CJ Wilcher was on Nebraska last year.
there you go.
For the
Wow,
record.
how about that?
There you
How about that? Jordan, if Kelly Ford is John's king, what does that make Bart? His court jester.
K. Ford and Bart sitting in a tree.
Wasn't Bart, Nick, the guy that you tweeted at and said, "Are you down?"
Yeah,
he
definitely
was not down.
He was not. I
You know who
emailed
was
him.
down though.
K. Ford, our new friend of the Grum.
You guys are analytics pilled.
Uh,
you guys are like Gus Johnson. You
Ha,
guys
ha,
I love analytics.
Debo writes, topic alert, did anyone see the Paul Bissonnette story? No. Paul,
God,
what
what did he
happened with
write?
Biz Nasty? Isn't that him? Am I thinking of the same guy? That's the hockey guy, right?
Yeah.
Biz Nasty? Uh-oh. Hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully it's not bad.
Well, it is.
Is it bad?
It It
doesn't look bad.
Former NHL player and now broadcaster Paul Bissonnette, victim of assault.
Oh my gosh.
6 men arrested after altercation at a
Whoa.
restaurant.
That's not what I was expecting.
Situation escalated into men assaulting Paul both inside and outside of the restaurant. He tried to calm a situation between 6 men and management at Houston's restaurant.
Interesting.
Jeez. You know what? Now that there was a video going around last night, and he did a video.
That explains it.
He did a video.
Okay.
I don't know what he said in that video because I did not click on that video.
One more comment. Jordan writes, is there a scenario where a team that doesn't win the conference makes it into the playoff, but the conference champion does not? No, if the weird scenario that we just put up for the Big 12 happened,
They wouldn't.
Whatever the highest ranked team is tonight would not be in the top 12. I don't even know if the highest ranked team tonight from the Big 12 will be in the top 12. Who do we think is going to be number one? Maybe Arizona State.
Sometimes in the pre rankings that actually count, they just like to put people there as placeholders. So that's what they did with Boise kind of right away.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they'll do that with Arizona State tonight.
Yeah.
They're sitting right there at 12 or 11 or something like that.
Right around there. Yeah.
Just place them there.
Fascinating.
Hoping that they hold serve and win, and that way they could elevate them as they win the conference title.
When we return, we can talk a little bit more about the CFP. Also, Tommy Cutlets might not play on Thanksgiving versus the Cowboys. Happers Nugs were down bad last night.
Yeah, they suck.
And tomatoes.
Plus,
Nick maybe will surprise us with some questions.
Maybe.
Oh, here we go. Theo said PJ was producer Josh, by the way. All right,
Got
we'll do content. Get ready to say goodbye from a now very cloudy Las Vegas. We are here at Circa at Stadium Swim having an absolute lovely, lovely, lovely time. And a reminder that they are partnering Circa Casino and Resort is with 1620 The Zone to hook you up with Creighton tickets. You can win a pair of tickets to each of the Creighton men's basketball conference home games. Go to 1620thezone.com. Did I say .com twice? 1620thezone.com right now for your chance
.com
to win. We will open up our Equitable Bank inbox when we return, and Nick will ask us some questions here on 1620 The Zone.
Nick Grimm for Circa Sports Iowa. Earlier today, I put together a parlay right here at one of the kiosks at the Circa Sportsbook. Those kiosks, by the way, look exactly like the Circa Sports Iowa app. So you can also start cooking up your very own parlay, just like I did, from the comfort of your own home anywhere in the state of Iowa. If you aren't feeling a parlay and instead want a live in-game line during a game, during the break, a prop, or even a tight money line split, well, they got you covered. There's a ton of basketball for you to choose from both pro to college. On the pro side of things, the Wizards are plus 175 to beat the Bulls. The Lakers plus 115 over the Suns. And on the college side, one of the games I put in my parlay, Kansas, is currently plus 140 over Duke. Play every day your way with Circa Sports Iowa. The sportsbook that won't punish you for winning, and the sportsbook that was made for you, a person who wants to take their gaming seriously. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike.
All right, folks, it's time to hear from Nick Grimm, who is just yawning off the air very bigly.
You're in
pain, buddy.
Hello, Nick.
Welcome to Mega Hell.
I had that sandwich earlier and it gave me a case of the sleepies.
Get the tomatoes.
Will Creighton make the NCAA tournament this season?
Is he going to join us on the upper floor tonight?
You're not allowed.
I feel like Nick is
It's a
canceled that.
COVID-free zone.
Yeah.
I don't have COVID. It's just the air.
Happer, I'll let you answer this question first. Are they going to make it?
Yeah.
Yep. Remember that
you noticed my confidence there?
Yeah, you were very confident.
Mm-hmm.
Remember our discussion about the NIT being every 20 years, and then people said, actually, it's every 20 seasons because of COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Set it up. Nebraska
and Creighton in the NIT.
In the NIT.
Now, that would be a disappointment at this point for Nebraska fans.
This time.
Because they have dreams now.
From Lincoln.
They're dreaming.
Yeah, well, maybe, some dreams can turn into a nightmare.
Dreams and nightmares. Shout out to Meek Mill.
Two sides
Nice.
of the same coin.
Wow, that was deep.
Yeah.
Hashtag deep.
Josh, no way Josh knows about that song.
I know who
No
Meek
way.
Mill is.
Josh probably hates that song because it's Philly pilled.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Meek Mill is the Phillies is a disgrace guy, right? Philly is a disgrace. His tweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The tweet.
No, he loves Philly.
But he had a tweet that was like, Philly is a disgrace.
Meek Mill did that? I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
I'll see
You
if I
know
can
more
find-
about tweets. I know more about songs.
Is he a Philly person that likes to put batteries in socks?
Probably. He's Philly pilled.
Man,
Tell me about Meek Mill.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find. It's just there's a Twitter account that I follow.
A couple
that
years
retweets
ago,
it a lot.
there was he did a song called Dreams and Nightmares. And for whatever reason, the Eagles adopted it, and they played it like unedited in the stadium, and it's a very vulgar song. Before a playoff game, and everybody got absolutely crunk, and the Eagles won.
We like crunk, don't we, folks?
Yeah.
Wow, Josh liking the Eagles getting
Here it
crunk.
is. Oh, it's Sixers. Sixers is a disgrace.
Sixers is a disgrace. Yeah,
funny.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, so
really
funny.
Because they are.
So funny.
You two discussed
Do you
college.
think you're going to make the tournament?
No, I said the NIT.
All right.
They're playing Nebraska.
All
The
right.
NIT. Get the tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Sorry.
You two discussed the CFP earlier. Is there anything surprising that's going to happen tonight?
I don't really think so. I think all the results from the SEC have kind of set up the committee to really do whatever they want. The thing that I'm going to be looking for is Notre Dame, where they're placed, and how good they're going to be feeling about hosting a home game as a 5 or 6 seed. And, I mean, we mentioned it a few minutes ago, the Big 12 and what's going on with those Big 12 teams.
I think it'll be surprising one way or the other wherever Indiana lands, because there's so much. They're like the discourse with them is so imbalanced.
Yes,
it's
it
so on one side or the other, and my guess would be that they treat them well after losing to Ohio State this weekend.
That's nice,
because I still think the teams around. I mean, everybody around them lost this weekend. You can't keep those teams around because they've lost, in some cases, 3 times more than Indiana's lost this year. So I still maybe my surprise of the night prediction would be Indiana is higher than you would expect.
Okay.
That's my
I like
answer.
that one.
Deion Sanders says that he expects his son, Shador, as well as his not son, Travis Hunter, to play in the bowl this season. Are you buying this?
No.
I stand with Happa. I thought you were going to expand on this thing.
Why would they play in the bowl game?
It's very confusing.
Why would they do that?
It's very confusing.
Well, maybe at that point he thought they were going to be in the playoff. They're not going to the playoff anymore.
Yeah, that would be the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in the playoff bowl game.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
We didn't make the
You're
playoff
gonna
bowl game.
play in the Alamo Bowl?
Yeah.
God, no.
Yeah, no, they're not playing.
They're playing no Alamo Bowl.
No, heck no.
Speaking of playing, Brian Dayball says Tommy Cutlets is not 100% to play on Thanksgiving versus the Cowboys. Josh,
Nick,
you were okay with the boys not winning anymore this season. Now they could move to 5-7 and be squarely in the hunt.
Okay, here we go.
Are you okay with this?
Watch out. Oh, look at him. Look at his teeth. Look at his teeth. He loves it. He's
it's
jacked.
like they were on their way towards the number 1 overall draft pick in Travis Hunter, and now they're going to be 5-7. And I look at the teams that they have on their schedule, Happer, like Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal did yesterday, and I say, oh, they could beat that team, and they're not going to though. No, they're not making the playoffs.
Interesting.
making the. They're
You, I
not.
feel like you had quite the roller coaster just then.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
You kind of were interested for a second though.
Mm.
I saw that.
I mean, look,
I saw that glint in your eye yesterday.
Schaefer always says it. It's fun to win than it versus losing. I like winning.
Yeah.
What if they went on a crazy run? What if Mike McCarthy got to say F everybody who didn't believe in us?
That was that glint in your eye.
I'd be sad that Dak
with
would,
Cooper Rush.
Yeah,
You would be so wrong.
I know. I'd be sad for Dak. I'd be happy for angry CeeDee Lamb though, who's always pouting on the sidelines when things don't go his way.
Yeah.
Go Cowboys.
By the way, so does that mean the Giants are starting Mr. Locke this weekend? Ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah.
Imagine having 3 quarterbacks who are all the same level of doo-doo.
Yeah.
And then having to pick one.
That was Nebraska football last year,
That's
am I right?
true. That's true. That's true. Yes.
Michael Malone says he won't be flushing last night's embarrassing 145-118 loss to the New York Knickerbockers. They dropped the Nugs to 9-7 and 5-4 at home.
9-7, 5-4.
5-4 at home.
He's getting there.
Happer, you're famously of Nuggets. What the hell is happening?
They suck. They are bad right now.
Dude, what's going on?
They
used to be good.
There's a new element to the equation this year.
The transfer portal?
Well, kind of. They got
NIL?
Russell Westbrook out of the transfer portal. Has that ever been good for anybody?
No.
Yeah. I don't think he's the issue.
Can we blame Russell Westbrook for their problem?
I would like to. I'd like to personally blame Russell Westbrook for all of it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm not without watching them play very much, because who watches the NBA in October and November?
Yeah.
I have
watch college basketball.
I have noticed their results pour in and them mostly not be good.
A lot of losses.
Yeah.
A lot of L's.
The Juan Soto sweepstakes continue to get even more crazy.
Oh.
In an article from Brandon Cootie of The Athletic,
Are you relation to Jessica?
a source has said offers are expected to go through multiple rounds, with the first one being preliminary to gauge interest. Is Juan Soto worth this kind of hassle?
So you're saying that the Royals got bounced in the first round of the Juan Soto tournament? They reached out. Have you heard?
I have.
They reached out. That was good enough for me. But today,
He made a funny video.
This topic is outdated because he signed today.
Who with?
He signed with the Celsius drink.
Oh.
I'm more of a Fahrenheit guy.
Nice.
That's the drink that all the TikTokers are drinking.
Yeah, I'd never
Celsius.
even heard about this.
It's
Yeah.
water?
I don't know. I have no idea what it is.
I don't know.
Is it alcoholic? I have no idea.
I got nothing.
Yes, Juan Soto is worth the hassle.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He hits home runs, unlike his teammate Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Wow.
Aaron Judge was bad in the playoffs. Remember all those strikeouts?
He is bad in the playoffs.
Yeah, tough look.
One more. Happer, what have you respected the most so far from our time in Vegas?
Oh, great question.
I respected the man who was tossing that little ball on the roulette table today. That was a good man.
He was good.
I respected him big time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Great man.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Oh,
Nice. he was a great guy.
You know who I didn't respect? That man who had never played craps before.
No, I did not
and was at the
respect that.
craps table last night.
I did not respect
My
that.
least favorite human being in maybe our world history.
Oh.
If I were to do a top 5 rankings of the woes.
If you were locked in a room.
Yep. I think he might be number 1.
I respected John Bishop for coming to hang out with us last night.
You could tell John would have rather been doing anything but a couple of times.
2 for 1 beers.
Yeah. Drinking 2 for $5 beers.
John's more of a Fremont Street guy than a strip guy.
Yeah.
You know?
He had a good time. We were all very confused about where Mike Schaefer had directed us for dinner.
Yeah.
But we had a great time.
Yeah.
Schaefer kept asking us where we're going. He gave us many more recommendations.
Mhm.
He did.
And he
told us to go to a bar where the bartenders are mean.
Yeah.
He did.
And they're scantily clad.
Yeah.
What is this, Mike Schaefer?
Yeah. We're married men, Mike Schaefer. Yeah. I like bartenders who are nice and clothed.
Me too.
Yep, that's
Whole
Wholesome.
question.
I love a wholesome bartender.
All right, that is content. When we return, we ask what's for dinner, and will there actually be an answer?
That's a good question.
Last night we knew. Tonight do we know? We will do that when we return and say goodbye. Get you ready for a Tuesday night here on 1620 The Zone.
When you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Crust is good on your pizza, not your ass.
I will eat your ass first.
He's tough as a Woolworth steak.
And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap.
I'm ready to hang them up, gut them, and skin them, and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. My daughters aren't starving to death. I'll eat my neighbors.
And we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you.
Cliff, what are you going to take away as your best memory from playing basketball at Boston College?
Probably just, like, going out to eat.
All right, boys. What are we doing for dinner?
Yeah, I don't know. I might go dinnerless. I don't know.
No dinner?
Wait. I don't think I had lunch.
I was
You
going
should
to
probably
say.
get a sandwich, Happer.
Maybe a salad.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a.
You've done better at me at eating healthy.
I know the scouting report of Vegas.
Yeah.
And I know what it can be. So
Yeah, I had a
this
burger again
is
today.
the experience talking. You
Yeah.
need some greens.
Yeah, you do need greens. No idea. Absolutely no idea what I'm having for dinner. Because it seems like we're not having dinner together because I'm busy. I'm doing a podcast in a half hour.
Big podcast,
Why talk
boy.
for just 6 hours today when I could talk for another hour?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might go to the bodega they have downstairs and get a snack.
Yeah. Are we going to see you tonight, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're coming up.
You're coming up. See me tonight?
I would love to see you every time of day forever.
We're going to drink expensive cocktails on the windy roof.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, it's an outside windy roof?
No, I got the inside table.
Good.
So
It's so
that
windy.
was a blessing.
It is.
Hashtag blessed.
That'll be us. So we're doing that. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Chief 1999 writes, "Wash your damn hands."
Yeah.
Oh no!
Happer.
Hey, I've been good about that this trip.
Wow, he has a baby now. He washes his hands, eats vegetables.
Yeah. It's a more professional setting. You got to wash your hands.
We got an email from listener Chase into the Equitable Bank inbox. He's playing Omaha Monopoly, and
did he land on 1620 the zone?
it says you're penalized for trying to take a left turn on Dodge during 5 o'clock traffic. Go back 3 spaces.
Oh my God!
Tried to turn into
you should
the
be sent
zone.
to jail on that one.
Don't turn into the zone. Turning left.
I know people that do that.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess you could turn into the zone. It's a business.
Businesses.
It's a business. Don't try to turn on a 50th Street though.
Oh no.
That would get you arrested.
That's right.
That would get you.
I
arrested.
turn left into NRG Media most mornings, but there's very little traffic.
Nice. All right, we're back tomorrow. You and I. 10 o'clock.
Topic alert.
Topic alert. We make people mad by talking about which players are going to leave Nebraska high and dry in the portal, and other topics.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I have an opinion.
I have an opinion. Mitch Holtis.
Yeah.
Your
Love the
favorite.
Chiefs.
And many, many more things.
Oh yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you later. For Joey back in the studio, Nick here, and Happer, I'm Josh. Have a great Tuesday night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.